which were solo stops. JT has posted 14 fast breakups in 3 seasons, and earlier this year teamed up to make one of the most electrifying plays in DSU history, an interception that landed as the top play on ESPN SportsCenter's Top 10 Plays. JT is accompanied on the field today by his parents, Holly and Jeff. Let's hear it for number 19, JT Anderson. Next, a 6-foot-long snapper from Mission Viejo, California, number 38, Dylan Douglas. Dylan has played a critical role in the special teams unit over the last 2 seasons as the team's long snapper. Last season, his snaps helped produce the nation's leader in punt return average, and this year has helped produce the single-season leader in field goals and point-after tries. He has recorded 4 special teams tackles. Dylan is joined on the field today by his father, Scott, his grandpa, Pops, Uncle Billy, and Aunt Shauna. Let's hear it for number 38, Dylan Douglas. Next, a 6'4" offensive lineman from Lake Forest, California, number 75, Chris Grasso. Chris has helped provide depth in the offensive line that has produced both rushing and passing records in his 2 seasons in Dixie State. Chris is accompanied on the field today by his parents, Chris and Sandra, his brother Nick, and his uncle Sal. Let's hear it for number 75, Chris Grasso. And now, a 5'8" running back from Paramount, California, number 25, CJ Luongo. CJ Luongo has been a major contributor to the Dixie State offense since his first game 4 years ago in a Trailblazer uniform. CJ threw a touchdown pass in that first game, and since then has become the DSU career rushing yards and rushing touchdowns leader. He was an all-RMAC honorable mention selection in 2017. In all, CJ has rushed for 2,338 yards and 18 touchdowns, while making 57 receptions for another 546 yards. CJ is joined on the field today by his parents, Elizabeth and Salogo, and his brothers, Puku and Jordan. Fans, let's hear it for number 25, CJ Luongo. Next, a 6'1" defensive back from San Diego, California, number 5, Alex Lilliard. Alex has played an integral role in the Dixie State defense since his freshman season in 2016. He has recorded 45 or more tackles in 3 of his 4 seasons and was an all-RMAC honorable mention selection in 2017. This season, he was named to the academic all-RMAC first team with a 3.30 GPA and is one of the team's leading tacklers in 2019 with 61 tackles, 6.5 tackles for loss, and 4 sacks. In all, Alex has recorded 187 tackles, 22 breakups, 14 tackles for loss, and 4.5 sacks. Alex is joined on the field today by his mother, Terry, his brother, JR, and his sister, Talisha. Let's hear it for number 5, Alex Lilliard. And now a 5'10" defensive lineman from Waterloo, Iowa, number 57, Brennan Miller. Brennan has been a part of the Dixie State defense for 3 seasons, participating in 9 games. This season, Brennan has recorded 8 tackles, including 3 tackles for loss and 2 solo sacks. Brennan is joined on the field today by his mother, Tammy, his stepdad, Wayne, his brother, Jalen, and his girlfriend, Dominique. Let's hear it for number 57, Brennan Miller. Next, a 6'3" offensive lineman from San Diego, California, number 72, Joshua Partida. Joshua has been a significant part of the offensive line over his 2 seasons at Dixie State uniform. He has appeared in 12 games, including 8 games this season. Joshua is accompanied by his mother, Priscilla, stepdad, Rudy, sister, Natalie, and girlfriend, Lala Waga. Fans, let's hear it for number 72, Joshua Partida. Next, a 5'10" receiver from Moreno Valley, California, number 7, DeJuan Dantzler. DeJuan will go down as one of the most decorated receivers in NCAA Division II era after suspending 5 years inside the DSU football program. Last season, DeJuan entered second team All-RMAC honors and set the single-game receiving record with 241 yards and 3 touchdowns versus Colorado School of Mines. Last week, DeJuan caught 10 passes for 234 yards and a touchdown against Mines.
At Trailblazer Stadium, Dixie State getting set to host Adams State in the 2019 season finale. The Trailblazers 7-3 overall, 6-3 in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference, and today is Senior Day. And a great list of seniors for you today. Guys that have been with this program all 4 years, guys that have really contributed over the last 2 or 3 years, and 11 seniors that it will be hard to say goodbye to today. They're being honored on the field as you join us on the TV and internet side. The team honoring Casey Allison, JT Anderson, DeJuan Dantzler, Dylan Douglas, Chris Grasso, CJ Luongo, Alex Lilliard, Brennan Miller, Joshua Partida, Aaron Simpson, and Xavier Smith as well. Carrick Segmiller, welcome you inside the broadcast. We're bringing my broadcast partner, Drayson Ball. Hard to believe a whole season has gone by, and it all culminates with this one, Dixie State. Drayson, an opportunity to still set more records, to get to a record 8 wins in the 2019 season.
Yeah, certainly still a lot to play for in this final game of the season, and coming off a tough game last week against Colorado School of Mines, in which you were in that game and you played excellently. I wouldn't expect anything different from Dixie State coming into this game with all kinds of motivation on the line. Obviously, last game of the season, it's Senior Day. You can have the chance to get to 8 wins, which would be a record in the NCAA Division II era. This is your last potential game in the RMAC right now. I mean, this is the last RMAC game Dixie State will ever play, and it's also the last one they'll play at the Division II level as well before they make the jump to Division I next season. So certainly a lot to play for, a lot to leave out onto the field, and the Trailblazers hopefully are going to come in, play well, and execute everything they do today.
Of course, as you see on your TV and internet screen, the seniors have all been introduced, and another touching tribute and an honor to fallen teammate Abraham Reinhardt, who passed away earlier this spring. This would have been his senior day as well. So you see CJ Luongo, Cajun Smith-Begrevich, and Malaki down on the field holding Abraham's jersey. And it's just an incredible honor and tribute that they are giving to Abraham, and they've got his number 3. And Drayson, as Coach Peterson said right after this all happened in the spring, it'll be a long, long time, if ever, before someone wears that number 3 jersey again. I think it's a very fitting tribute to someone who is such a significant contributor to this team, and we still carry him with us in our hearts.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, we talked about it, with the first game of the season, and they did that, the moment of silence for him, and certainly honored him there, and it's nice to see it come full circle today on Senior Day and being able to honor him once again. And like I mentioned, certainly a game in which, hopefully we can fill Abraham's presence here today and play well, and hopefully, accomplish something that he would have liked to be able to, be here and accomplish with them as well. And certainly a lot to play for in that.
This is the TDS pregame show. We'll give you some quality and keys to the game along the way. We'll give you some Cafe Sabor starting lineups as well. But let's talk about these two teams. Drayson, obviously, Dixie State 7-3 overall, 6-3 in the RMAC, and a team that was with just a couple of plays away from coming into this game at 8-2 and overall, and would have been that 7-2 in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference. But moral victories there's no room for them now, and no room for woulda, coulda, shouldas. And we talked about it a lot on the Trailblazer Weekly Show. But this is a Dixie State team that really should be able to take the momentum and how well they played last week against Colorado School of Mines and carry that over against Adams State today.
Yeah, you'd hope so. And, like we said, I mean, you played well last week, but you still came out with a loss. And I think there's a lot you can hang your hat on last week based on the way that you played. And I think you played very, very well at certain points of the game. You were very disciplined. You executed your offense very well throughout the entire game. You had a few mistakes that really cost you that game. But, I think the penalties, the Trailblazers were able to limit those. They only had 2 penalties for 25 yards throughout that game. So that was very, very excellent of them. They were able to move the ball offensively. They played very well defensively as well. And so I think they just did a lot of good things, and they played just about good enough to win. But like I said, just a few small little mistakes here and there. And, they might have been coming home with a victory over the number 8 team in the country. But what you need to do now is you need to not look past this game and say, hey, you know what, we played really well last week. We can just show up today and we can win just by showing up. That's not the case. You got to come out and be able to play with the same intensity and the same discipline that you played last week against Colorado School of Mines, against a team coming in today that wants to come in and, frankly, spoil your senior day as well. So they got to be focused, they got to execute, and they got to play as well as they did last week if they want to have a chance today.
While we're still talking about Dixie State, let's just call this, it's kind of a condensed TDS pregame show as we were getting on the air. A lot of stuff for senior day going on here. But let's call this our quality in keys to the game, Drayson. And you mentioned Dixie State needing to be focused. You mentioned Dixie State, then they can't just come in and expect to win. But what would you say are 2 or 3 keys that Dixie State has got to be able to accomplish in order to win this football game today?
Yeah, I mean, I think they've got to exploit the turnover game. Right now, Adams State is minus 15 in the turnover battle. They've thrown 21 interceptions, and they've lost 4 fumbles, and they've only taken the ball away 10 times. So they are currently minus 15 in the turnover battle. That's absolutely abysmal for a team. If you're going to want to have any success throughout the season at minus 15, they've got to be able to capitalize on turnovers. If you can get extra possessions for this Adams State team, they can throw the ball very well. They're very good through the air. They like to throw the ball downfield and try to get big plays in that regard. If you get 2 or 3 extra possessions than them at the end of the game, you're going to have a really good chance to be able to score. Not only that, they're going to be coming into this game a little bit banged up. They're not going to be starting their all RMAC candidate John Buxa. They're going to go with their one of their backup quarterbacks, Markel White, and so you're not going to have kind of the quarterback that you're used to or that maybe you've prepped for all week. So you got to be able to put pressure on him, force him to make some mistakes, as he's not played not nearly as much as Buxa has played this season. So you got to try to put some pressure on him, see if you can make him some mistakes.
It will be interesting to see how that changes this Adams State offense. Obviously, kind of a pass-first offense, if you will, with Buxa, the all-RMAC quarterback, as you mentioned. He's played in all 10 games so far this season. You did mention, and we've talked about this over the last week, that Buxa only had a couple of passing attempts in their game against Colorado Mesa last week, and not sure if there was an injury or something that happened, but he is not, have received word, he will not start today. It will be Markel White. He's only played in 3 games, completing 12 of 29 passes for no touchdowns and 2 interceptions. So it'll be interesting to see how that changes things, and do they go to the run game more, maybe try to get Dusan Sproles involved in the run game, 126 attempts, 513 yards and a touchdown. Jamarcus Federick, far fewer attempts, but he does have 4 touchdowns, so clearly kind of a red zone, a power guy closer to the end zone. It will be interesting to see how this Adams State offense is tweaked, if at all, and to see how Dixie State defensively will be able to respond to that.
It is going to be interesting to see how they adjust after losing Buxa. I mean, if you look at Buxa's numbers, almost 2,500 yards for the season, 20 touchdowns. He does have 17 interceptions, but he's second right now in the RMAC in passing yards, third in the RMAC in passing touchdowns. So you're going to lose a very good quarterback in your backfield, and so it's going to be interesting to see how that maybe changes the game. Are they going to try to continue to do what they've done all season and be a pass-first offense and have the run help out as much as it can, or are they going to try to, like you mentioned, have the run kind of try to carry the load offensively and then see what you can get out of your backup quarterback in White? That's going to be one of the things Dixie State's defense has to be able to key in on and read what they're doing kind of play by play. Are they going to try to throw a lot or run a lot? And you got to kind of adjust your defense accordingly.
Absolutely. Dixie State and Adams State just a few minutes away from the national anthem. Let's give you the all-time series between Dixie State and Adams State. 2 teams very familiar with each other in the NCAA Division II era for Dixie State, as the Trailblazers were making that transition from junior college to NCAA Division II, and were independent for a couple of seasons, and then joined the Great Northwest Athletic Conference. There was only 5 other teams in the GNAC at the time, and so Dixie State was playing teams in the GNAC multiple times this season or trying to go out and find other teams to play. Adams State was one of those teams that they were able to play. I believe from that 2006 to 2012 or 13, Dixie State and Adams State played 6 times. This will be the 4th time that Dixie State and Adams State have met up as members of the RMAC. Dixie State leading the all-time series 5-4 and have won the last 3 matchups. Should note, in 2016, this game went down to the wire. Anthony Reyes, Dixie State kicker at the time, hit a walk-off field goal, if you will, from dead on from 21 yards out. Had to kick it 4 times because Adams State called all their timeouts. He did make that field goal. Dixie State was able to win that game. Since then, it's been 2 blowout victories. A big win. Dixie State has scored over 50 points in each of the games in 2017 and 2018. 1 here, 1 in Alamosa. And so it'll be interesting to see if history continues. Dixie State is 3-1 all time against Adams State on inside the comfy confines of Trailblazer Stadium. Dixie State, I think, will be starting Tanner Hammond at quarterback. We're still waiting to get kind of that final nod. That's been kind of the indication all week. He's listed at 1 on the depth chart. You saw Cody Wilstead out punting before the game. He's warming that left leg up. He will be doing the punting honors today. So it'll be interesting to see this Dixie State offense. As we mentioned, Adams State maybe making some tweaks per who's going to be playing quarterback for the Grizzlies. We'll see if the offense changes much, if at all, for Tanner Hammond, who's really the same style quarterback as Keaton Mott, just not with the ability to throw it downfield as far.
Oh, yeah, and we talked about it on our Trailblazer Weekly show. We talked about it a little bit last week in the loss against Colorado School of Mines. You have 1 week to prepare, knowing that Tanner Hammond is going to be your quarterback. I think there's an offense and a system and a scheme that you can implement in 1 week in the final game of the season to be able to set him up for success. Tanner Hammond, like we've mentioned, we've seen some highlights of Tanner Hammond and some very promising potential for him on the season. He's come in, he's played well at times, and I think we've shown that he can come in and run a team and play the offense the way that it's designed to be played. And I think, like we mentioned, if you have a week to be able to prepare with him, knowing that he's your number 1 quarterback, you can come in and set up an offense for him that he can feel comfortable in and that he can execute in.
Take a look at the tail of the tape. Dixie State matched up against Adams State. Trailblazers averaging 34.4 points per game scoring, giving up about 24 points per game. It's almost just exactly the opposite for Adams State, scoring just about 25 points per game and giving up 36 points per game. This is an Adams State offense that does move the ball very well, 418.9 yards per game. Again, we'll see how much that changed with Buxa out of the offense. They throw the ball primarily. Defensively, this Adams State team giving up almost, I don't want to say an exact split, but a pretty balanced 220 yards through the air and 165 yards on the ground. So we talked about this on the Trailblazer Weekly show, Drace, and I think this Dixie State team, this offense, will be able to take advantage of both the pass and the run. And here on Senior Day, would love to see a senior like C.J. Luongo have a big game on the ground. Yeah,
I'd love to see that too, and it's interesting that you mentioned those offensive numbers. Over the previous 3 games, Adams State has only been averaging 15 points per game in those 3 matchups. That was against Colorado Mesa, Angelo State, and CSU Pueblo in their previous 3 games. I mentioned the turnovers. They've turned the ball over 3 times last week against Colorado Mesa, and then the week before against Angelo State had 4 interceptions. So they've had 7 total giveaways in their previous 2 matchups. And like we mentioned, just the 15 points over the previous 3 games after averaging well above that over the first 6 games of the season up to that point. So it's a team that's right now kind of struggling as the season kind of culminates, and with their new that backup quarterback that's going to have to step in today in a pinch, it's going to be interesting to see how well they're able to move the ball offensively.
Dixie State and Adams State set to do battle here inside Trailblazer Stadium. And that will do it for a condensed TDS pregame show. We've given you our quality in keys to the game. We'll give you our Cafe Sabor starting lineups on the other side of this 2-minute timeout that we will take for the national anthem. 2-minute timeout and back on the Trailblazer Football Network.
There is a place where looking out means looking in, where an impression lasting only a few seconds will be imprinted on a life forever, where courage is forged and innocence rediscovered. where remembering is rewarding and forgetting unforgettable. There is a place where truth is felt and where seeing is believing. There is a place.
Radio Dixie 91.3. We don't play that. Nope, not that. A big fat no there. That's what we play. And stuff like that. On St. George's only alternative, Radio Dixie 91.3. Oh, and from 9 till midnight, we play this. I need a one dance. And this. Radio Dixie 91.3 FM.
I got you right where I want you. I make this one, it's over. I win.
No pressure. Bring it.
We may not always play good, but when we want to look good, we come to the Dixie State campus store.
Located on the second floor of the Gardner Center. We'll see you there.
When I was growing up, my mom was extremely tidy. We were trained to put things back where we got them from. One day, when I walked into my mom's house, I felt like I walked to someone else's house. There was stuff everywhere. And just growing up the way I grew up and to see this transition was very alarming.
When Sean talked to me, it was a wake-up call, and that's when I went to the doctor.
Welcome back inside the broadcast booth. Dixie State, the Trailblazer football team, getting set to host Adams State in the 2019 season finale. And the Trailblazers trying to get that record 8th win, and Dixie State will host Adams State. The Grizzlies coming to this game 4-6 overall, 4-5 in the RMAC. And Drayson, you hit the nail on the head earlier in the TDS pregame show where you said, you know, this isn't a game that Dixie State can expect to just, you know, stroll into and win without putting its best effort forward. That's kind of a Captain Obvious statement, I know, but you've got to have their A game today. You know that this is an Adams State team with a win today that finished at 500 in conference for the season and build on some momentum for next year. And it's a team that will want to be fighting and trying to play some spoiler roles here today.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, you know, and one other thing you got to mention, you know, you got to talk about is you have all the senior day festivities before the game, and maybe just even slightly maybe just defers your focus a little bit on the game and kind of just puts it more on that senior day festivities. And, you know, so that's just one of the factors that kind of comes into this is that, you know, you might not be 100% focused coming into the game with all those festivities before, but you've got to be able to refocus, really buckle down and put your focus into this game because, like you mentioned, Adams State still has stuff to play for. I mean, they've kind of had a down year compared to what they were expecting coming into the season, but you have a chance to win this game, play spoiler for Dixie State on their senior day. You get back to 500 in conference, and you feel like you can build on that going into next season, especially in a game where you're not going to have your number one quarterback. We don't know if they're going to have their all-RMAC receiver, Tariq Bitson, as well, who right now leads the RMAC in reception yards and is second in receptions. We have not seen him warm up. I don't know that he's on the team on the field right now, but certainly a team that if you feel like even with those injuries coming into the game, if you win this one, you're going to have a lot to build on for next season.
Dixie State and Adams State set to do battle here inside Trailblazer Stadium. That will do it for our TDS pregame show. Drayson, why don't you give us some Cafe Sabor starting lineups for this Dixie State team? Adams State has won the toss, deferred to the second half, so let's give some Dixie State offensive starters. With the exception, maybe let's leave the quarterback out until Dixie State has the ball and we can see who's actually going out onto the field.
On the offensive line from left to right, Kyle Whiteside is your left tackle, Samote Haonga. Walter Holmgren is going to be your center today. Tima Maletalua on the right guard, and Deep Jowney at right tackle. Seiji Luongo is your running back, and then out wide, Casey Allison, Jalen Powell, DeJuan Dancer are your wide receivers. Chase Hess rounds out your starting lineup as the tight end.
Dixie State set to receive this kick. Back deep to receive, Darman Natoa and Xavier Smith.
On the kickoff, the DSU SA will be releasing
as the pregame clock winds down. And the Trailblazers get set to begin the final game of the 2019 season. Again, Carrick Segmiller, Drayson Ball with you on the Trailblazer Football Network. It's been our pleasure to bring you these games all season long, home and away. And we look forward to this one as Eric Ruiz will put a foot into it for the Grizzlies. It'll be fielded at the 1-yard line. Balloons let into the air as Xavier Smith has this return. He's at the 20, across the 20, just shy of the 25-yard line at the 23, and that is where Dixie State will begin its first drive of the game.
And a decent return for Xavier Smith on the first kickoff of the day. Catches it here on the near hash and had a little bit of a room to run, had a hole there, but collapsed quickly as he gets across the 20 and is brought down just across the 20 by number 45, Brandon Obrecht.
Look out onto the field, and it is Tanner Hammond jogging out to lead this Dixie State offense. Took the first team reps all week, and now he's set to lead this team out onto the field. He's got C.J. Luongo behind him in the pistol. Fakes the handle, broken play, and Tanner Hammond's going to be brought down for a loss of 4 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 14. Miscommunication. Hammond was expecting Luongo to his left. C.J. went to his right, and a broken play.
Yeah, not a great start for the Dixie State offense as you see Hammond open up to his left there, and C.J. just went to his right. That's going to be a loss of 4 on the play, setting up 2nd and 14.
And down in 14. C.J. Luongo now at the right hip of Hammond. 3 receivers right side for Hammond. Swing it right side. Jalen Powell makes the catch, line of scrimmage. He's across the original line of scrimmage, across the 25, down near the 30 to the 29-yard line. A pickup of 10 yards, so it'll be 3rd down and 4. A great pickup, now 3rd and manageable for the Trailblazers.
Yeah, and a good start passing for Tanner Hammond. Just a nice, simple little flat route just to get Jalen Powell kind of open in some space, make him make some moves and see if he can get a few extra yards. He does just that. Gets to about 10 yards downfield and sets the 3rd and manageable here.
14:04 to go, first quarter. First 3rd down of the game for Dixie State. Hammond across the middle. Ball is caught at the sticks, or 1 yard shy, right at the sticks. First down, pass complete to DeJuan Dantzler, your Dixie State career receiving yards leader. And the first down for the Trailblazers, brought to you by Lonnie Boy's Barbecue.
Yeah, and a sharp pass here by Tanner Hammond. Had to kind of thread it in between 2 Dixie State defenders there. Kind of had to just put it right on the money. Otherwise, that one might have been undercut by Alani Pututau. But a good pass there downfield to get the first down.
Pututau, an absolute stud for this Adams State defense. They'll swing it to Casey Allison on the left side on first down. He's across the 40, fighting for first down yardage. He'll be half a yard shy. Did the ball come out late? Adams State is signaling their own way. No signal yet from the referee. And now they're going to signal Adams State way. The ball came out late, and Adams State has recovered as Casey Allison was fighting for first down yardage. We'll get a look at it on the replay.
Yeah, Allison just gets the swing pass out here to the left, and we'll see on the replay where this ball comes out. You see he's hit there, and that ball does look like it comes out maybe. It's on the turf there. It's tough to tell from that angle, but just based on where he was hit by Rob Luck, it kind of just, that was the play there. And we get another look at it, a different angle.
Ooh, that may have been forced by the ground.
That's close. It may have been forced by the ground, but was any part of his body down at that point?
On a first down, a handoff, and the Adams State running back is swallowed up in the backfield. And he goes nowhere. As Banner, they may be running some Wildcat here, Jason.
Yeah,
they've got some Wildcat formation going with Zaire Banner in the backfield on second down. Moving out to his right. He gets the corner, but only picking up 3 yards is Banner. It'll be 3rd down and 9, down to the 40-yard line.
Yeah, and that's Zaire Banner is listed as wide receiver, like you mentioned. It is a Wildcat formation. He's got over 500 yards receiving on the season, and you see here, just running the Wildcat formation. He's still there as their quarterback, so I mean, maybe they're just going to roll with some Wildcat for the most of the game. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. No true quarterback right now on the field.
And now they're going to throw it downfield, and a catch is made wide open. to the 10 and brought down inside the 10-yard line, and that's the tight end inside the 10. A beautifully drawn up play that saw Banner fake like he was going to roll out to his right, and then he stopped, threw it back to his left. The catch is made inside the red zone, inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, Chris Amuk-Sang was the one who just kind of released out. It was kind of just a fake, just almost the same play as the last one on second down, but faked it out to the right 2 or 3 steps, and then had Amuk-Sang wide open down the field as they now bring in their actual quarterback. Maybe that was just a design to run 3 or 4 plays as Wildcat.
On first down and goal from the 7-yard line. Running back probing off tackle to the left side. Payamanu will pick up, well, they say no gain on the play. Second down and goal now from the 7.
Going to be a good test for the Dixie State defense early in this game as they on a goal line stand right now, see if they can force a field goal attempt by Adams State. And as we see here, stoppage of play. Not sure exactly what they're discussing. Game clock nor the play clock is running right now.
Yeah, 11:58 to play.
Doesn't look like anyone's really talking. It just looks like they're all kind of just standing around.
And now they're going to send Adams State to their sideline and Dixie State to their sideline? Did somebody call a timeout?
Not heard anything from head referee Richard Gray today at this to this point.
He may be making an announcement here.
Injured player number 28, Devin Chandler for the Trailblazers.
Oh, injured player for Dixie State. Couldn't see him. They were bringing him off. That makes sense. You couldn't see him back there.
That does make sense.
Now here we go. Teams back out onto the field. Second down and 7. Second goal and second and 7. And a reverse play. Here's Banner. He is going to be, gets her past Mitch Jacobs, and then he'll be hit in the backfield. Still a loss of 1 yard as they try to run the reverse, but that did not fool Mitch Jacobs. He snuffed it out immediately.
And maybe we have an answer to our question about what this Adams State offense is going to be able to do. A lot of trick plays so far in this game, as you see kind of just a reverse pass. Mitch Jacobs had him dead to rights, but he's able to kind of get out of it. Still a loss of 1 after Mitch Jacobs kind of drove him so far downfield the other direction, that Trailblazers were able to rally and get him down for a loss of 1.
Third and goal from the 7. They try to get Dixie State to jump off sides. They can't do it. And the quarterback right now is Michael Morales. Handoff up the middle, Payamianu. And he'll pick up 3 yards, but it'll be third down and goal from the 6. And it looks like the field goal unit going to jog out onto the field. And Eric Ruiz, who has been money so far this season, as he's connected on 13 of 15 field goals and a long of 48 yards. So this will be a chip shot for him. 23-yarder left hash. A good snap, a low kick, a line drive kick, but it's up and through, and that's his 14th field goal make of the season. So Dixie State fumbling, but the defense doing its job and holding the Grizzlies to a field goal. 3-0 Adams State with 10:42 to go in the first quarter. We take a 60-second timeout and come back on the Trailblazer Football Network.
For over a century, Dixie State University has been shaping the Trailblazers of tomorrow by providing a culture of active learning, active life. With a paradigm of real-world experience mixed with cutting-edge technologies and rich traditions, we provide one of the most affordable educations in the West, set against the most stunning backdrop on the planet.
Hi, I'm Smokey Cole Bear, filling in because for 75 years, Smokey only said,
"Only you can prevent wildfires."
Meanwhile, the song was wrong. We did start the fire. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Play Eric Amarola's Race Day Mix.
Welcome back inside Trailblazer Stadium. Xavier Smith will take it from the 5, and he's undercut just across the 20 at the 21-yard line around the right hash area, and that is where Dixie State will take over.
And one thing we talked about on the pregame show was how turnovers are going to affect this game. Right now, coming into the game, like we mentioned, Adams State was minus 15 in the turnover battle, meaning that they give the ball away more than they take it away. An early turnover by Dixie State, however, leads to the first 3 points for Adams State. See how they recover here after the fumble on their first possession.
Dixie State an opportunity to get to a record 8 wins, and they'll start from behind. Low snap to Hammond. He'll roll out to his left, dump it to the tight end, Chase Hess. He's got the catch, 25-30, 35-40. Still in bounds. No, he stepped out of bounds. Right at the 40-yard line, a pickup of 19 yards on the pitch and catch for Tanner Hammond to Chase Hess.
Yeah, a good route concept as you had 2 kind of deep routes about 15 yards downfield. Jalen Powell was one of them, and then you just dump it off to the underneath route, Chase Hess. You see a good block here, a great angle by our CEC TV crew, a great block there by Jalen Powell.
On second down.
Ball's loose again.
Was it a give to Luongo, and the ball came out?
Ball came out again.
And Dixie State will recover it on a run up the middle. And the ball came loose. Dixie State will recover. Second down and 11.
Second down, 11.
3-0 Adams State. The lead. 5 minutes gone by here in the first quarter. Shotgun snap to Hammond. Empty backfield. Will throw it to the right side. Catch made by Jalen Powell, and he's tackled awkwardly just outside the right hash at the 45-yard line. And he'll pick up 6 yards. Need 5 more for the first down.
An empty set here. Tanner Hammond just finds Jalen Powell on a little 5-yard comeback route, curl route. Able to get this to a third and manageable, 3rd and 5 from their 45-yard line.
Clock rolling, 9:30. 3rd down and 5. Hammond loads up, pass tip to the line of scrimmage. Still caught by Xavier Smith. He gets the first down, and he's tackled out of bounds at the 45. We'll make it across the 50 to the Adams State 48-yard line. A big pickup and a first down into the Grizzlies' territory.
And a good 3rd down conversion by Dixie State coming into today's game at 40% efficiency on 3rd downs, and able to get the first 2 3rd downs today converted as they keep this drive moving after giving up the field goal to Adams State on their first possession.
On first down, read option. Hammond's going to keep it. On the right side, inside the 45, diving for the 40, and he's tackled at the 42-yard line, a pickup of 6. Started that run way back in the backfield, and a long ways to run for 6 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 4.
Yeah, zone read, faked the handoff to Luongo. A good decision to pull this one as he's able to get to the outside. Brought down first by Ahmed Bernard. And the Trailblazers continue to drive this ball on 2nd and 4.
2nd down from the 42. Pass downfield, and Hammond put a lot of zip on that one and overthrew Jalen Powell, who had a beat on his man on a post route. Center of the field. Possibly could have gone for 6 if the ball was in the right spot, but incomplete.
Yeah, the speedy Jalen Powell working on the Ahmed Bernard, and he had a step on him. If this ball was put in the money and let Jalen Powell run under this one, it looks like he's going to be able to get to the end zone untouched as he had a step or 2 on Ahmed Bernard.
3rd down and 4. Snap to Hammond. He'll shovel it ahead to Darman Natoa, and he's got the first down. Needed 4, got 4. A lot of misdirection going on in that play. Darman hangs out in the backfield, and a shovel pass ahead to Darman Natoa. Maybe more of just a 2-handed pitch.
Yeah, this one looked like it was going to be pitched out to C.J. Luongo, but backwards. But this one fake kind of C.J. Luongo the pitch and then kind of shoveled it forward. Goes down as a pass to Darman Natoa. He's able to pick up the first down and keep the chains moving.
First down from the 38. Hammond with time. Now he's forced out to his right. Runs out of a tackle. Fires sideline. Catch made by DeJuan Dantzler, and he steps out of bounds. Just shy of the 30 at the 32-yard line. Gain of 6. DeJuan Dantzler, his 2nd catch of the day.
And Dantzler does a good job of coming back to this ball. You see, as he's forced out of the pocket, it's not going to be able to get that much on the throw, going to his unnatural direction. He's a left-handed quarterback rolling to his right. That's his unnatural direction to throw across his body. Dantzler reads it well, comes back towards the ball to make the catch.
On 2nd down, Hammond will dump it to the tight end, Chase Hess, and he'll just get back to the line of scrimmage. Well, he'll give him 1 yard. 3rd down and 3 upcoming from the 31-yard line. Hammond running for his life on that one, able to find Hess and avoid the sack.
Yeah, fortunate to be able to get rid of that one as he's wrapped up immediately after the snap and able to kind of sidearm sling it to Chase Hess, pick up 1 yard, brings up 3rd and 3.
3rd down and 3. Dixie State, 2 third-down conversions in this game already. They'll swing right side. Dancer makes the catch, has a block from Jalen Powell. Stutter step. He's got the 1st down. And the chains will move. Needed 3, got just the 3 down to the 28-yard line of Adams State. And they convert on 3rd down again. Another Monty Boys Barbecue 1st down.
And Hammond and Dancer are working on some chemistry here early in this game. His 3rd reception so far as he's the leading yards receiver all time in Dixie State history. Gets the 1st down here and keeps the chains moving once again. A couple of 3rd down conversions on this drive alone.
6:42 remaining. 1st quarter. Hammond, play action with Luongo. Now loads up, fires downfield, and it is incomplete. Overthrew Powell again. Jalen not able to run under it, and it falls into the red end zone and incomplete.
Yeah, and Hammond had Jalen Powell wide open. I'm not sure why he threw this one towards the back of the end zone. If he throws that ball more towards the goal line or towards the first pylon, I mean, Jalen Powell can just run under that when there's no one anywhere near him, but decides to kind of throw it over his head to the back of the end zone, and Jalen Powell forced to cut the route vertically instead of just continuing on his horizontal trajectory. This one sails over his head, and the Trailblazers call a timeout.
It will be the media timeout. 6:35 to go. Dixie State trailing 3-0. 90-second timeout. Come right back on the Trailblazer Football Network.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Good. You played before, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's all state, high school.
Good. Let's run some routes. Give me a post route.
All right, let's do it.
We may not always play good, but when we want to look good, we come to the Dixie State campus store.
Located on the 2nd floor of the Gardner Center. We'll see you there.
There is a place where the sun doesn't hide in the winter, where the greens stay green and the crimson canyons still glow. There is a place where dimples determine destiny, and a tiny wooden tee holds the outcome in the balance. There is a place where we drive for show, putt for dough, and settle the score with another round. There is a place.
All right, Monroe, you ready? Monroe. Here we go, the butterfly. Ready? Ooh.
Welcome back to Trailblazer Stadium. Adams State called the timeout, and then they stretched it to the media. On 2nd down, Hammond loads up, throws to the sideline. Powell, incomplete. Looked like there may have been contact before a play was actually made on the ball, but they were already out of bounds territory. Probably could have deemed that ball uncatchable. It'll be 3rd down. The 3rd time now that Tanner Hammond has tried to find Jalen Powell and just can't quite put it in a spot where Jalen can get to it.
And the Trailblazers have converted on 2 third downs on this drive. This one's going to be a little bit longer. Their other 3rd downs were 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5. This one, 3rd and 10.
This one probably 4-down territory. Hammond pulls it down, throws sideline. Ball is tipped and batted to the ground, intended for Malcolm Ross Turner. And Dion Mays there to tip the football, and it fell to the ground. Of course, I said it was 4-down territory. Now they're going to send James Baird out onto the field to kick the field goal. His long this season is 40.
And even if Malcolm Ross Turner makes the catch, he's going to go absolutely nowhere.
Yeah.
This one maybe would have been a gain of 4 or 5, depending on forward progress, but still would have been about 4 yards short of the 1st down marker.
This will be a 44-yard field goal, right hash. James Baird long this season is 40. Here we go. Tanner Hammond set to hold. A good snap, a good hold, side-by-side kick, and it's no good.
44-yard field.
Did not get a good boot on that one. And it falls short. James Baird now 10 of 12 on field goal attempts this season, and Dixie State goes empty on the possession.
I don't think it was blocked, but just the way that it came off his foot, the way that it was kind of swirling side to side rather than end over end, It made it look like it got blocked. I don't believe that it was, but either way, Adams State will take over from the 27-yard line as the Trailblazers failed to convert on that crucial third down and then the fourth down field goal attempt.
It'll be Morales at quarterback. Handoff up the middle and ahead of steam. He breaks a couple of tackles and a first down for, what number is that?
Jamarcus Federick. No, number 4, excuse me.
There's no number 4 on the roster. We don't have a number 4 on the roster. So number 4, and now Dixie State going to get called for an offsides.
That was Mitch Jacobs that jumped off sides. As you see, the first penalty called against the Trailblazers as Mitch Jacobs falls for the hard count. Cost Dixie State 5 yards. Adams State now first down and 5 to go. Still looking to the sidelines to get the play. Play clock down to 12 now as they line up and get set to go.
Now first down and 5. Handoff up the middle, pickup of 2. Second down and 3 upcoming. Well, just shy of midfield.
There to make the tackle, number 35, Sear Barnes.
Ball's just short of midfield at the 49-yard line. Adams State, 2nd and 3.
On second down, a running back off tackle left side and hit is blown up in the backfield. He'll lose 3 yards. It'll be 3rd down and 6.
And Aaron Simpson is the one that blew him up in the backfield. Cornerback that didn't have any wide receivers on his side and rolled down closer to the line of scrimmage. The action went that way, and the running back was just not able to outrun the grasp of Aaron Simpson, who brings him down for a loss of 3 on the play.
3rd down and 6, ball at the 46-yard line. Morales. Will take the snap on 3rd down. Loading up. Fires downfield. Banner is there, and it's batted incomplete. Great coverage downfield by Temi Nowo, the freshman. And Adams State will be forced to punt.
Yeah, Temi Nowo was running step for step with Banner here as this one just kind of lobbed up, and idea was that Banner would just be able to run underneath it. It was just underthrown a little bit, and Banner had to turn around to come back forward a little bit, and Nowo was right there to get a hand up and block it down. It'll force a 4th down and a punt for the Grizzlies.
Xavier Smith waiting back at his 10-yard line. End over end punt. Smith will let it bounce and then fields it at the 10-yard line, and there's a sea of white jerseys there. He's brought down at the 9-yard line. He's having flashbacks from last week where he saw the football roll 50 yards down the field on a couple of different occasions against Colorado School of Mines.
And this one might have done something similar. I mean, you see it bounces there. It would have been down inside the 5-yard line had he not picked that one up. So, I mean, you saved yourself a couple yards here, but that was a good punt by the Grizzlies to be able to force the Trailblazers inside their own 10 after a decent drive that's stymied at the 30-yard line.
Dixie State will take over at its own 10-yard, officially a 90-yard field for the Trailblazers. They've done some good things offensively. They'll try to string together a complete drive. High snap and a handoff to Darman Natoa, and it goes nowhere.
And the running game just has not been able to get going to this point of the game. You see just a couple of Grizzlies come unblocked and bring down Natoa in the backfield.
This Dixie State offensive line has been kind of pieced together all throughout the year with various injuries. Hammond holds, fires across the middle, and incomplete. Had the tight end Chase Hess open, and green grass in front of him, but could not get the ball to him. Incomplete.
And now the Trailblazers backed up on a 3rd down and 12 after the loss of 2 on the first play. This is on their 8-yard line, so Hammond standing about 2 or 3 yards in front of his own goal line. Got to be careful here If you throw the ball away, you can't throw it away in your own end zone.
Third down and 13. Hammond will dump it to Jalen Powell, and he gets out to the 11-yard line, but no more. A gain of 4, and Dixie State will have to punt this football away.
Yeah, and he's cut down just past the line of scrimmage by Anthony Alton as he is able to get past the 10-yard line, but a good tackle to upend him there and not allow him to get his feet back and pick up any more yards to get closer to the first down. Dixie State has to punt.
So Cody Wilstead, who punted in the second half last week at Colorado School of Mines, is set to punt from his own end zone. An Adams State player running in late. Wilstead, the left-footed punter. Pretty good booming kick, and it's muffed. The ball is free, and Dixie State has it. Ricky Johnson, the freshman, will slide on top of the football. What a punt out of the end zone by Cody Wilstead, and it's muffed as the returner was not expecting to have to go back that far to get it. He has to catch it over his shoulder. He drops it and leaves it wide open for Ricky Johnson to dive onto it. Him and Dylan Douglas fighting for that football.
Not a great decision there by Shakori Foster, the punt returner, as he tried to kind of catch this one over his shoulder. Wasn't a great idea. Should have just let it bounce and see if he could, retrieve it after the first bounce. But he grabs it, muffs it, and Ricky Johnson is sprinting downfield, able to recover. A big break for the Trailblazers. They get their first turnover, and now they're set up inside the Grizzly State territory.
And Cody Wilstead is in at quarterback for the first time in quite some time. Play action, first throw across the middle. What a catch by Chase Hess! He's at the 10-5, touchdown! That ball was a little overthrown, but the big tight end went up, grabbed it with one big paw and brought it in, and he goes for the score.
And this was a very similar play we've seen throughout the season. Chase Hess just runs downfield, uncovered. It was almost a full-out, just kind of 4 vertical routes, and they didn't have enough bodies to cover all the deep routes. You see just a quick pass, and Chase Hess just runs downfield, grabs that one with one hand, stiff arms another defender on his way to the end zone, and the Trailblazers now take a 6-3 lead, PAT pending.
What a play. The PAT is up and good. Dixie State leads by 7. Turnovers. Dixie State turning that turnover into points immediately. 2:33 to go. Dixie State 7, Adams State 3. We take a 60-second timeout and come back on the Trailblazer Football Network.
All right, man. Need you to go deep.
All right, I'll catch this one, I promise. Post route, back of the end zone.
Got it. Let's do it.
We may not always play good, but when we want to look good, we come to the Dixie State campus store.
Located on the second floor of the Gardner Center. We'll see you there.
Are we there yet?
Yep. We're here.
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back inside the broadcast. Dixie State scoring on one play, 42 yards. Cody Wilstead to Chase Hess across the middle. And the Trailblazers lead it 7-3. Here's Banner on the ensuing kickoff return. And he's tripped up. Flag flies in late. He's tripped up just shy of the 20-yard line, and the flag sitting at the 28-yard line of Adams State.
Got a couple of flags on the play. One sitting at the 28 that was thrown from the back judge. One sitting at the 25-yard line close to the far sideline, thrown by the line judge. Referee's conferring now as we get the call from head referee.
And that referee today, as we've said, is Richard Gray, was set to make the call. Now he's conferring a little bit more. Now here we go.
During the return, holding, number 88, return team. The penalty will be enforced half the distance from the end of the play. First down, Adams State.
So there you go. Holding against Adams State on the return. A good tackle right there by Will Yamasaki for the end of that return to keep him inside the 20 anyway, but half the distance down to the 9-yard line.
Yeah, it'll be a 91-yard field for Adams State if they're going to want to continue to try to put points on the board against this Dixie State defense that forced a punt on its previous possession.
The Grizzlies back out onto the field on first down. They go to Frederick, and he is swallowed up. He'll pick up 1 yard, but no more. Second down and 9. We did confirm that Jamarcus Frederick, who usually wears number 24, is wearing number 4 today.
And you see Frederick just gets swallowed up here at the line of scrimmage. That's going to be one of the important things for Dixie State is with your backup quarterback or, I don't know, whatever string quarterback that they have playing right now in Morales, if they can stop the run and force Morales to beat you in a situation where he's maybe not comfortable or doesn't have as many reps as some of the other guys ahead of him, if you can stop the run, you put yourself in a good chance.
Adams State play action to run out to the left, and that's the quarterback that we were told would be starting the game today, Markel White. And they're just switching things up all over the place. They're saying, we don't have anything to lose today. Our starter, Buxa, is not available, so everybody, the bus driver might be available today as well to play some quarterback for Adams State.
No doubt about it, and they've already had 3 quarterbacks line up under center. And I say under center figuratively because no one ever lines up under center anymore in college. But 3 different quarterbacks.
They need to come up with a new phrase, don't they?
Right. Behind center, maybe.
Behind center. There you go. There you go. I like it. 3rd down and 6 for the Grizzlies. Pass, and it is complete to the left side. It'll go for a first down on the forward progress. Good-looking throw from White. And the chains will move after an 8-yard pickup. Needed 6, got 8. And Adams State with a first down.
And maybe I know what it is. I think there's a mandate in college football you can only have one left-handed quarterback in it at one time. So that's why Wilstead was subbed in as a right-handed quarterback. Now you can play White as your left-handed quarterback.
Now they've subbed out White. That was a good-looking throw. Now they're going to sub him out. They're going to go Wildcat formation with Zaire Banner. It wasn't that long ago that Dixie State was in some of the same Wildcat situations. Here's Banner on a first down. We're running around the left side, and he is undercut by Aaron Simpson. Gets down low and takes the legs out after a 5-yard pickup. Second down and 5. 25 seconds remaining in the first quarter. That may have been the last play of the first. It will be. Adams State coaches calling them over and say, hey, let's just get to the second quarter and see what happens here. So 1 quarter of football in the books, and Dixie State leading 7-3. Here on the Trailblazer Football Network, we take the 60-second timeout, come back with the second quarter.
Our hearts are made stronger by how we treat others.
Put her there.
The light you share can impact those around you, but so can the darkness.
Later, twerps. Did Pete saying mean things bother you?
So when you reach out to another person, take a moment to consider how they will feel and let your heart be the key to making a difference. Because of you, someone's entire day, year, or even life can change.
In every heart, there's hope.
I take the road less traveled, run free, unwind, unravel, someplace outside with lots to do. Green trees, red rocks, and don't forget that blue sky. The sunshine shining, sunshine pouring on me. Think I might just stay a while. Say hooray all day because the sun is gonna shine on me. Sun is gonna shine on me. Sun's gonna shine on me.
Welcome back to St. George, Utah, Trailblazer Stadium, the site of today's Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference football game. Dixie State, a 7-3 lead over Adams State. If we take a look at the first quarter stats, Trailblazers outgaining Adams State 115-65. Dixie State's out there ready to play football. Adams State still in the huddle. I'm not sure if they extended it to a full TV media timeout. Now the referee's going to blow the whistle. They're taking their time. And they had the extra 25 seconds at the end of the first quarter, and they're still taking their time here. But Dixie State outgaining Adams State. The Trailblazers, how about this? 4 of 6 on third down of the Trailblazers today. Adams State 2 of 4. Tanner Hammond 11 of 16 for 75 yards. And Cody Wilstead 1 of 1 for 42 yards. On second down, still the Wildcat formation, and Banner goes nowhere. Loses a yard. Third down and 6 upcoming. Back to the 26-yard line.
And if the Grizzlies are going to stay with this Wildcat formation, the good thing about the Wildcat formation is it's kind of a niche. It's designed to catch you off guard. You run it 1 or 2 plays every quarter, every series maybe, and it's just designed to kind of keep you on your toes and catch you off guard. But running it over and over like they've been shown to do the first couple of possessions of this game, it kind of gets a little bit more monotonous and repetitive so you can figure it out defensively.
Here comes Markel White on third down and 5, they say officially. A pass across the middle is complete. And across the 40, a tackle was initially made, but they say that, and Dixie State has taken the football out. And now the referees are blowing the play dead. Well, there's a lot going on that play. A pass complete across the middle, and it looked like Dixie State had made the tackle. The referees say that no, the knee never touched the ground as we get a look at it here. And it never did.
Not a bad call. That's a good call there.
It never
forward
did.
Progress is stopped
and
right
forward progress
there.
stopped right there before the fumble, before Dixie State ripped it out.
After all said and done, it looked weird. But
it looked weird. It's exactly how
it ended up being the right call. Good on the refs by, keeping their whistle in their pocket until the play was actually supposed to be blown dead.
13:55 to go, second quarter. A fresh set of downs for Adams State. They're going to option it out to the right, and he is hit and swallowed. And he'll lose 3 yards. A lot going on that play. You had the play action and then the pitch out to the right.
And that's exactly what you have to do when you're playing the option, is you have to make the quarterback pitch the ball. Sir Barnes does a good job of forcing White to pitch the ball so that Alex Lilliard can clean up the running back after the pitch. If you don't force the quarterback to pitch it, he can fake that pitch and cut it upfield.
Barely 2 minutes into the second quarter, and how many different offensive styles have we seen from this Adams State Grizzly team? And here comes a reverse, kind of a flea flicker type play, and it's going to go for a sack as they run a reverse and then they pitch it back to White, the quarterback, and he's swallowed up and loses a ton of yards.
Yeah, I mean, this one had the designs of a double reverse pass, and you see here just did not have anything downfield. Credit to Dixie State for not blowing coverage downfield as 3 different Trailblazers surrounded him.
And Lenandre Schwally
who brought him down for a huge loss. Is going to be third down and 21 yards for the Adams State Grizzlies.
Clock rolling, 12:34 remaining second quarter. Back to the Wildcat formation, and Banner finds a seam. And excuse me, that's not Banner, but that is Paimeanu. He took the snap in the Wildcat type formation, picks up 4 yards on the play, and a punt coming up for Adams State.
Another Wildcat formation, and Paimeanu just kind of gets this one, gets about 4 or 5 yards. It's still going to force a fourth down and way longer than you'd ever want to imagine going for it. So the Adams State Grizzlies will punt, and Xavier Smith stands back at his own 21-yard line to receive this one.
John Bowers standing at about his own 25. Puts the right foot into it, hangs in the air. Smith makes the catch and shakes one tackle, another tackle, and then is hit from behind. Oh, and there was a dive on late, no flag. Smith will have it across the 25 to the 27-yard line. That's where Dixie State will take over.
Yeah, Smith, a very slippery receiver and a very slippery punt returner, as he kind of just wiggled his way out of 2 different Adams State tackles, and it didn't end up gaining any much more yards, but maybe a few yards after blowing a couple tackles away. But just a slippery guy, tough to bring down, especially in that situation.
11:44 to go second quarter. Cody Wilstead back at it. Quarterback Darman Natoa is the tailback. His only pass attempt has gone for a 42-yard touchdown in the game. He has Chase Hess move from left to right on first down. He'll reach out, hand off to Darman Natoa, and he's tripped up after a pickup of 2 yards. Second down and 8 upcoming from the 29-yard line.
And the Trailblazers still motivated to get that run game going, as they've had a couple of struggles opening up holes for the runners up to this point. You see just kind of an off tackle, maybe up the middle dive by Natoa, goes for 2 yards.
Play action this time. They'll roll out, dump it to Chase Hess, 35-yard line, 40-yard line, and a big pickup. Out to the 40, and now a flag flies late.
Way late. In the Dixie State backfield.
And who's this going against? I'd say this is a matchup between probably the two most penalized teams in the conference, Jason. We wait and we'll get the call here.
Personal foul. Number 75, defense. Automatic, first down.
Mike cut out as he was explaining what the personal foul was. I know we've been frustrated with Dixie State and the amount of penalties that we've seen this season. Adams State struggling even more in that department, Drayson. Coming into this game, 101 penalties for over 1,000 penalty yardage and averaging 107.1 penalty yards per game is Adams State. One of the worst in the nation in that category. Play action, Wilstead will zip it out of the backfield and incomplete. As pressure came, he had to dump that one and just get rid of it.
Yeah, just forced the roll out to his right and got rid of it. Unfortunately for Cody, that was able to just get rid of this one.
Andrew Canelli-Robles is the back. Lining up with the right hip of Wilstead. Trips to the left side. Ricky Johnson, the lone receiver, on the right side. Wilstead claps the hands. Gets a block on second down. Will fire downfield. Powell is there. Makes the catch. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. And he put that right on the money, and Powell ran under it, and he goes 45 yards to the house, and the Trailblazers lead at 13-3.
And a beautiful touch on this pass by Cody Wilstead, and a great route by Jalen Powell. Able to get free running down the sidelines. A great block there by Andrew Canelli-Robles, and a good out and up move by Jalen Powell, and he goes all the way to the end zone untouched.
$10:55 to play, second quarter. Personnel issues. They'll get Lenandre Swally out there. The 11th player on that left end to block. And we're going to have a false start on the PAT. Everybody got a little excited on that one. And now James Baird is going to get another shot at the PAT from 5 yards back.
It's all right. Now he's got his leg warmed up now. He was good from plenty of distance, so he'll have his leg warmed up for this extra long PAT.
Well, this will be a 25-yard point after try. Maybe they should fake it and go for two now. Low snap. Hammond gets it down. The kick is up and no good. He missed it right. The Dixie State will lead 13-3. We've seen just a little bit of everything in this game.
Call that the old announcer's jinx.
10:55 to go, second quarter. Dixie State 13-3 lead. We'll take a 60-second timeout and come back on the Trailblazer Football Network.
I got you right where I want you. If I make this one, it's over. I win.
No pressure. Bring it.
We may not always play good, but when we want to look good, we come to the Dixie State campus store.
Located on the second floor of the Gardner Center. We'll see you there.
$10:55 to go, second quarter. Dixie State, a 13-3 lead, and that was Baird's just his second PAT miss of the season. 41 of 43 now is Baird. This ball will be fumbled into the end zone, but he was already in the end zone. That was Frederick. We'll pick it up and kneel on it for touchback.
Yeah, that one was, I don't know. That one looked like it was caught that one certainly wasn't caught in the end zone.
Oh,
He's out of the
boy.
end zone.
That's a safety.
That's not even close. That should be a safety. I mean, that was not even close to the end zone. It was at least a yard away from the end zone, and he nails it. That should have been a safety. That should absolutely have been a safety on that play. I mean, maybe I guess the ruling is that if you don't possess the ball, I don't know. I'm not a savant on the rule book either in that situation. But interestingly enough, they call it a touchback.
Morales in at quarterback, and he'll hand off on a first down. Payameanu.
That's Dusan Sproles.
No, Sproles. Oh, goodness gracious. I mean, so many different guys have had the football today. It's a guessing game out there.
And Dusan Sproles, kind of their leading back coming into the game. Mentioned earlier, 126 attempts, 513 yards and a touchdown. It's their leading rusher. First carry he's got today, on my recollection.
Morales will open up, throw downfield on second down, and the ball is incomplete. Or no, he didn't make the catch. Banner's got the football in his hands, but he made the catch out of bounds, incomplete.
Yeah, it looked like it was knocked out of his hands right there at the end. Aaron Simpson does a good job. Yeah, just great job knocking it out of his hands. Banner had a couple of hands on it, but Simpson got his hand in late and forced the 3rd down and 5 for Adams State.
I need to get my eyes checked today. It's 2 plays in a row. We are stationed high above the field here at Trailblazer Stadium. I really liked how close we were to the field last week. Colorado School of Mines.
It was nice.
Morales on 3rd down. Fires to the right sideline. It's caught. Receiver gets away from a defender and will pick up 5 more yards. Stepped out of bounds at the 40-yard line. A pickup of 10. Needed 5, got 10. Chains move for Adams State.
It would have been interesting to see where this one would have been marked. If he would have caught him and brought it down initially, he might have been a yard short of the 1st down, but the completion goes to Jordan Simon. Is able to escape 1 tackle and scamper down the sidelines for an extra 5 to 7 yards and pick up the 1st down on his way.
9:55 and ticking remaining here in quarter number 2. And movement all around. Mitch Jacobs trying to point at Adams State. He jumped over.
Call offsides.
I think that's the right call.
Get a replay out of here, a good angle, and he comes off sides and forces the.
That's what that movement was induced.
That's what
by Jacobs.
That would be what the play call, the penalty call would be, is offsides, forcing the offensive lineman to jump off sides or false start, and that's exactly what it was.
1st down and 5. Out to the 45-yard line. Morales will give up the middle, and forward progress will get the ball carrier out to the 49-yard line. Sproles.
Up the middle.
Pickup of 4, 2nd down and 1.
Sproles gets 4, thank you. I'm just going to say that he was fighting hard up the middle and was able to kind of get towards the 1st down marker, but stop just short. It's going to be a 2nd and short with 1 yard to gain for the 1st down marker.
Morales, delayed handoff. Sproles gets ahead of steam and just needed 2 yards, and he'll get that across the 50 to the 49-yard line.
An interesting formation on this one, kind of a deep pistol formation as Sproles lined up about 5 yards behind the quarterback, who was also in shotgun. So by the time the handoff was given, Sproles was already at full sprint running downhill, and just by forward momentum and alone was able to pick up enough yards to move the chains and get into Dixie State territory.
8:40 to go, 2nd quarter. Dixie State a 13-3 lead. Is tuning in. Cody Wilstead did not start, but came in. And he 3 for 4 for 98 yards and 2 touchdowns. On 1st down, Sproles off tackle right side. Will pick up 3 yards, 2nd down and 7. Adams State inching its way into Dixie State territory.
And Sproles had a lot of green grass to run, but the hole closed quickly. Looked like that Lenandre Schwally, who brings him down by his shoestrings, limited him just a 3-yard pickup.
$7:55 to go, 2nd quarter. Morales. Handoff right up the middle. And it's Payamanu this time. And he'll pick up 4 yards. It'll be 3rd down and a long 3 for the Grizzlies. And they've determined to just, on this drive, we're going to go old-fashioned, run it right up the middle.
Yeah, it's unlike any Grizzlies team we've seen over the previous few years, a very much pass-heavy offense, but of course without Buxa, who's thrown for almost 2,500 yards this season, not got a whole lot of options of throwing it through the air. They're just going to continue to pound it through the run and see if they can run the ball all day long.
They're down in 4 officially. They'll pitch it out to the right side, and the ball carrier stumbles ahead, not going to get it. That pitch, he kind of trapped it on the ground as he went off around the right side, and then after he regained his balance, stumbled forward, picked up 2 yards. It'll be 4th down and 2 out the 41-yard line. Line to gain is the 39. Adams State looking like they're going to keep the offense on the field in just a 10-point game. Of course, it's no man's land. I mean, if you kick a punt, a touchback at this point, it's only 20 yards difference. So they're going to go for it. No, it's going to be a pooch kick. And it's going to take a Dixie State bounce, and they're not going to be able to get to it in time.
Yeah, high arcing kick there. Thought, initially it had, just enough of that arc and wasn't far enough downfield that even if it did take a Dixie State bounce, I guess this technically would be an Adams State bounce. It's bouncing in Adams State's favor.
Yes.
But then it ultimately goes into the end zone, which makes it a Dixie State bounce. So an astute observance there by you, recognizing that it would be bouncing into the end zone, but bounces towards the goal line. Took a really hard kick, bounced at about the 12-yard line, and a big giant bounce into the end zone.
And that'll bring us to the media timeout. 6:27 to go, 13-3. We've already talked for a little bit, so I know we're supposed to take a 90, but let's take a 60 and come right back on the Trailblazer.
Radio Dixie 91.3. We don't play that. Nope, not that. A big fat no there. That's what we play. And stuff like that. On St. George's only alternative, Radio Dixie 91.3. Oh, and from 9 till midnight, we play this. I need a one dance. And this. Radio Dixie 91.3 FM.
No, I'm not busy right now. Yeah, I can talk.
We may not always play good, but when we want to look good, we come to the Dixie State campus store.
Located on the 2nd floor of the Gardner Center. We'll see you there.
Na, 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 na. Are we there yet?
Yep. We're here.
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
For a first down and then some, a pickup of 14 yards. Dixie State says, all right, Adams State, I see your trick plays. I'll raise you a double reverse toss back to the quarterback.
Also known as a Philly special.
We saw the Eagles
run this in the Super Bowl a couple years ago. Well, I saw this play develop right from the get-go as Wilstead pitched the ball and then immediately rolled out towards the right in the flat. And a good start to this drive, pick up a first down on the first play.
First down and 10. I'm going to tell you, after this play, who I originally seeing run that play, a variation of that play. Wilstead inside. Malcolm Ross Turner makes the catch and a good open field tackle by the defensive back Dion Mays, because Ross Turner had room to run, and Mays immediately went to the ground and made the tackle.
But a very good read by Cody Wilson. Right at the last second before the snap, Mays dropped back. He was up in press coverage, and moments before the snap, dropped back in coverage, and they ran an audible route and run Malcolm Ross Turner right underneath.
Play action, bootleg out to the right for Wilstead. Hit as he throws, and it's complete to DeJuan Dantzler for a 6-yard pickup. Wilstead gets up, shaking that right hand. Been bothering him these last few weeks. Took a shot as he threw, but hangs in there, makes the catch. Dantzler makes the catch. And everyone's waiting, just on the edge of their seats, waiting for me to talk about that Philly special, and who I remember seeing run a variation of that first. Kennelly Robles on second down, churning the legs, and he's going to get just barely a yard. It'll be third down for Dixie State. BYU. And it wasn't the same play, but Steve Young, and I say this like I was alive at this time, but Steve Young in their bowl, I think it was one of the mini holiday bowls they played in, caught the game-winning touchdown pass on a play just like that. I think a pitch out, and he rolled, and it wasn't kind of the reverse, but it was a pitch, and he rolled and made the catch in the end zone and stumbled in. That's the highlight I remember seeing. And then, of course, the Philly special afterward. Wilstead on third down, fires downfield, incomplete. Dixie State maybe looking for a flag. Not going to get it. They felt like Dantzler might have been held, but really no argument.
Dantzler kind of just runs a little 10-yard out route. Wilstead almost looked like the ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage, or maybe tipped from behind, which is why it's still a little wide of the target. But Dantzler not able to get that one. But ball had some zip on it towards the sideline. A good place to put it to make sure that it's not going to be intercepted. But Dantzler just not able to get off his route in time to break towards that ball.
4th down and 3. Dixie State going to keep the offense on the field, or are we just going to see a quick kick here? Now we're going to get a free play.
They're going to blow it dead.
They're going to blow it dead. Give him the free play.
It's going to be Dixie State.
It's going to be Dixie State first down, but give him the free play, right? I mean, am I right?
There are some plays where you can let that go, but it's
offsides with contact, number 49 defense.
And that's the explanation we get from the referee as to why it was blown dead. If you jump off sides and make contact, it's automatically going to be blown dead at the line of scrimmage. But the Trailblazers get the 5 yards necessary to pick up the first down and keep the chains moving.
Football officials in that scenario need to have the freedom like a soccer official to say, okay, I see that there was a thing, but just play on. You know, that Dixie State could maybe throw a touchdown pass here. First down and 10. Wilstead forced out to his right, and he'll just get rid of it, and incomplete. Right about that same area we saw the Sports Center top 10 play, and the Adams State defensive back was chasing that thing down. That was almost, it's a little farther out of bounds. That's how you correctly throw the ball out of bounds.
Don't throw it anywhere near the sidelines, because if any of the Dixie State players are there, they'll take advantage of it.
Second down and 10, ball at the Adams State 48-yard line. Clock stopped at 4:27. Wilstead will dump it to Kennelly Robles out of the backfield, and he's got room. 30, 25, 20. He's got a blocker. 10, inside the 10, and down to the 8-yard line. Pickup of 40 yards.
And big Chase has played a huge role in this one as he continued to block downfield. You see a couple of good linemen right there blocking and forcing Kennelly Robles up the middle, but then Chase Hess just running all the way down the field. Good effort and good energy to really get all the way down the field and get an extra key block to force a couple more yards for Dixie State.
Into the True by Hilton red zone for, believe it or not, the first time today. High snap. Wilstead brings it down, gives to Kennelly Robles, and he's tripped up at the 6-yard line. And he's put in some work on this drive, and we really love everything that he's brought to this Dixie State team this season. But, hey, it's senior day. We got to throw Say-Jay out there. Give Say-Jay some totes.
No doubt about it. And this is a place where Say-Jay usually gets the ball on a lot of occasions. They love to give Say-Jay Luongo the ball here in the goal line situation. This is a tough spot because, you're 6 yards away from the end zone, don't have a whole lot of room to work in the deep secondary of the Grizzlies secondary.
Snap to Wilstead on second and goal. Fire back at the end zone. Chase Hess. Touchdown, Trailblazers on the 6-yard toss from Wilstead to Chase Hess. And I tell you what, Chase Hess has had himself a season this year, a resurgent year for the Dixie State tight ends.
Yeah, just as I say, there's not a whole lot of room in the back of the end zone. Coach Paul Peterson draws up a beautiful play. Had 3 receivers bunched up to the left side. The 2 receivers ran kind of routes right near the goal line, and then Chase Hess was open down the middle.
Dixie State's going to go for 2. They ran the special teams unit out onto the field and then hustled them off, and now Paul Peterson's going to call a timeout. Some confusion. You had half of the kicking unit come out, and then the offense was still staying on the field. There was all sorts of stuff going on. Dixie State a 19-3 lead, 3:16 to go until halftime. They'll take the timeout. We'll keep it right here because we'll have the timeout in just a moment. How about Cody Wilstead? Coming into this game, 6 of 9, 150 yards. And that's actually his third touchdown pass. Am I right?
Third touchdown pass today, yes. He had two. He's got 2 to Chase Hess, and then he had the other one to.
Live stats only show him for 2 touchdown passes. Now it shows him for 3. You refresh it, it shows it for 3. My browser just hadn't refreshed
Who
yet.
has the second one?
Jalen Powell.
Jalen Powell, of course.
Timeout's brought to you by Dairy Queen. Pretty good turnout here on a Saturday afternoon. Beautiful Saturday afternoon.
I was just gonna say
65 degrees out there right now.
Best football weather in all the conference today here in St. George.
That was pretty nice in Golden last week.
It was nice in Golden.
Colorado turned up the temperature for us, and now it's cold. And I think it snowed on Monday.
For about the 18 hours that we were there, they turned up the temperature.
It was beautiful.
And then that evening, as we flew out,
2-point try. Wilstead will dump it to Xavier Smith at the goal line, incomplete, and Dixie State leading it 19-3 with 3:16 to go. Let's take a 60-second timeout. Come right back on the Trailblazer Football Network.
When I was growing up, my mom was extremely tidy. We were trained to put things back where we got them from. One day, when I walked into my mom's house, I felt like I walked to someone else's house. There was stuff everywhere, and just growing up the way I grew up, and to see this transition was very alarming.
When Sean talked to me, it was a wake-up call, and that's when I went to the doctor.
The forest is a whole hidden world of wonders. What better place to let your imagination soar? Experience nature and create a memory you can share. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest or park near you.
Welcome back to Trailblazer Stadium. Ensuing kickoff. Baird will put a foot into it. And the ball fielded inside the 5-yard line. And it's Frederick. And he brings it across the 20 down to the 25-yard line. And Adams State will take over at its own 25. Essentially the same thing as a touchback. But Frederick had a chance to break that one free. Trailblazers a 19-3 lead, 3:09 remaining here, second quarter. Adams State, remember, will take over after halftime. So they're looking at this saying we've got a chance to go down the field, maybe get some points, and then have the ball in the second half as well. First down, I give off tackle left side. It'll be a 2-yard pickup. Second down and 8 upcoming. Clock rolling under 3 minutes now.
Yeah, and Adams State just continuing to go with this run to see if they can get their offense rolling. Just 3 points at this point of the game, and just nothing they're doing on the run game.
Cody Wilstead officially 7 of 10, 156 yards and 3 touchdowns. Dixie State's single game touchdown passes record is 5. Wilstead with 3. And Adams State quarterback White hit as he throws. Darius Nash, a vicious hit on second down as he blitzed from the left side, and White did not see him coming.
Yeah, Darius Nash came downhill with bad intentions and just drilled him from the backside. Was never seen by White. And that forced the ball to be thrown errantly and incomplete. It'll force a 3rd down and 7 for Adams State. You're Dixie State. You got 2:21 left. You got 2 timeouts still. You know, if you can force a 3-and-out here and get the ball back, you could potentially go down and score before halftime as well.
Morales on 3rd down. He loads up, fires downfield, and it's incomplete. And a flag's going to come in. Aaron Simpson hit Banner, and they're going to call pass interference, but I'm going to go to a play that we had in the Colorado School of Mines game last week. Drayson, this ball is uncatchable. They're going to call it.
Pass interference.
But
number 24, defense, 15 yards from the previous spot, automatic, first down.
There's no way Banner's making this catch. So the hit is unnecessary, but the way the rule was applied against Dixie State last week,
it's tough to see where the ball lands out of bounds, but
the ball lands to the left. That ball landed 10 yards away from him. But it'll stand as called. I'm not arguing that there was no contact before the play.
Was certainly
there's contact.
It was certainly a pass interference type contact. It just was whether the ball was catchable or not.
On a 1st down, a give up the middle will go for 4 yards. And Payamanu has the Grizzlies bearing down on midfield.
And right now,
no pun intended.
Like I mentioned, they're not throwing the ball through the air right now, so you can kind of eliminate that part of their game and just kind of focus on stopping the run and force them to have to move the ball through the air. Not been able to do that efficiently up to this point, at least moving the ball through the air, I'm saying. And they've been able to move the ball at times on the ground. If you can stop that, it'll put you in a good situation.
Morales throwing sideline, intercepted. Aaron Simpson, he's at the 50. Angling, no, he stepped out of bounds. He's running this one. He doesn't hear the whistles. And he thinks that he's got a touchdown. He's high-stepping. But he stepped out of bounds after the interception. And he turns back around and says, no, give me my touchdown. That pick right there will set the single-season interception record for Aaron Simpson in the Dixie State record books. Yeah, it's been a while since his 5th interception, and here's number 6.
And he made a great play here, just does a good job. The ball was thrown right to him, but he did a good job of undercutting that route, and yep, he does step on the line right there, so a good call by the referee. But a great job by Simpson playing back in coverage, and as soon as he reads where the ball is going, he undercuts that route, grabs it, and the Trailblazers force their 2nd turnover. That's one of the things we talked about. They throw a lot of interceptions. They've thrown 22 interceptions now, including that one. Trailblazers execute and capitalize.
Wilstead on 1st down will fire, and it's incomplete. I was getting ready to say intercepted because that went right into the hands of Corey Cinceno. And he dropped it.
And that one was just a situation of the ball is being thrown before Dantzler comes off the route. And you see, Wilstead just thought Dantzler was going to float farther downfield towards the 40-yard line. And the ball, like I mentioned, was thrown before Dantzler comes off the route. He's just kind of an anticipation throw by Wilstead, but Dantzler breaks it off early.
2nd down, Wilstead will have another shot at it. Steps up in the pocket and steps out of a tackle. Now he's going down. A huge loss. Back inside the 35 to the 34-yard line, a loss of 13 yards.
Yeah, this one was just, Wilstead just needed to try to get rid of one more tackle, and he just not able to get out of the hands there of the defensive lineman and falls back for a huge loss, and now it's going to be 3rd and forever.
And we are under a minute to play. Play clock down to 10. Dixie State will have to run a play, but this will likely be the last play of the 2nd quarter. They'll run C.J. Luongo left side, and he is body slammed on the tackle, and they're not going to throw a flag. He was stopped, and they lifted him and threw him over the top of the defender, and C.J. Luongo is incensed. He wants at the tackler. That is 1,000% unnecessary and should have been flagged. And CJ, you never see CJ like this.
Yeah, this is just bizarre. I mean,
they're carrying him off the football field. In 4 years of football, I have never seen CJ Luongo react like that. and I'm sorry, the referees should have thrown a flag here.
Timeout. Adams State. Second charge timeout. Clock operator, please reset the game clock to 29 seconds. 29 seconds.
And for you radio viewers who did not see this play, I'm going to liken it unto a WWE style move where
it's
the
unnecessary.
defender had C.J. Luongo wrapped up, lifted him up over his shoulder,
he stopped
and then
his progress.
him
He
into
was
the ground.
not going to break the tackle, and that's just
forward progress is stopped there.
right there, and threw him over the back. C.J. could have snapped his neck on that play. There's no reason to do that, and right in front of the officials and no flags. You've got to throw that flag. And I'm telling you, C.J. Luongo is the most humble, quiet person you will ever see, and that's the first time in 4 years of football here at Dixie State that he's reacted that way to a single play in his career. It takes a lot to get him going like that. And that's just unfortunate.
And not only that, it's dangerous.
I'm just gonna tell it like it is. You got to throw that flag. There's no reason for that to happen.
And not only that, it's just a dangerous play. I mean, you can injure someone and seriously hurt them in a situation like that, in a play like that. That has to be penalized just because of the sheer dangerousness of it.
Adams State gonna try to block the punt, and they fumble the football on the punt again, and Dixie State dives on it.
And I guess what's
and
the
the
old
Trailblazers
saying?
have it at the 35-yard line. And how's that for some sweet justice? After an unnecessary tackle, they call a timeout to try to block a punt. They fumble it. Now Dixie State will have a chance from the 35-yard line of Adams State with 20 seconds to play.
As the old saying goes, I guess ball don't lie. The Trailblazers are going to have 2 timeouts left from their 35-yard line. 20 seconds remaining. Certainly enough time to be able to get a couple of shots at the end zone. If you get another, 10 to 15 yards, you can get 2 or 3 plays at the end zone.
And Adams State's starting to get chippy out of there. There was someone rushing that punt that knocked one of the Dixie State offensive linemen down, and he just stood over him and kind of pointed and flexed at him, for a good 5 seconds while that punt was going back down the football field. And just seeing this stuff develop here. If I'm Coach Paul Peterson, I'm doing everything I can to get the football in the end zone right now. Adams State will call a timeout with 20 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Turnovers, 2 fumbled punts, an interception. We'll see if Dixie State can turn this one into points. Timeouts are brought to you by Dairy Queen. Cody Wilstead has got some red tape on his right hand. He's been retaped. And that's been bothering him the last few weeks.
But the way he's playing at this point right now, I mean, you got to say just go out there and continue to do what you've been doing because he's been absolutely sensational today in just the 2 or 3 series that he's been out there.
Would you love to see CJ break one here? 35-yard touchdown.
Love to see the Trailblazers put the points on the board here in this situation.
I'd love to see them go to CJ. Trailblazers have 2 timeouts. Adams State out of timeouts. C.J. Luongo at the right hip of Cody Wilstead. Wilstead rolling out to his right. Fires downfield, and it is tipped and incomplete. Jalen Powell got a hand on it, couldn't bring it in.
Referee back there had his hat off,
That
which
means
may have
that Powell
indicated that
goes out of bounds.
Someone stepped out of bounds. Oh, it's tough to tell from that angle. Great camera angle from our CEC TV crew. I'm not sure if it was Jalen that stepped out of bounds, and maybe that's why pass interference wasn't thrown. But again, 14 seconds, 2 timeouts. You still got a couple of chances to get some extra yards and get a shot or 2 at the end zone.
It'll be second down and 10. Ball at the Adams State 35-yard line. Snap to Wilstead. Fires across the middle. Ross Turner making the catch. He goes down. The clock will stop momentarily. Coach Peterson calling for a timeout. He'll get it with 8 seconds remaining. Or no, they're not going to take the timeout. They're not going to call timeout. Call a timeout.
Peterson does get a timeout right before the clock expires. Not sure what you're doing in that situation. You got 2 timeouts to burn. There's no way you're going to be able to run 3 plays inbounds, you have to call a timeout there. He does just before clock expires.
Please reset the game clock to 1 second. 1 second.
But the other thing about that is if you call the timeout immediately with 8 seconds, you have another timeout to go. You could still conceivably run 2 more plays and have 2 shots at the end zone, whereas this one you're just going to have 1 shot at the end zone.
No, you're going to bring James Baird out for a field goal.
Yeah, kind of bizarre. If you have 8 seconds left, you have enough time with this at this point of the field where you're only 15 yards away from the end zone. You can take a shot at the end zone and run 1 play and then bring
call
out
your
James
timeout.
Baird. Call your timeout and bring James Baird out onto the field. This one, you really hammered yourself by not calling a timeout immediately after the catch.
That's too bad.
And these are where, games are won and lost is clock management. Now, obviously, the Trailblazers are up 19-3 at this point. We're going to go for, a field goal and hopefully get up by 3 scores here.
Almost as if
but certainly
they're trying to set James Baird up with another opportunity to kick a field goal. Here we go. Baird will have a shot. It'll be a 31-yard field goal, left hash. 1 second on the clock here in quarter number 2, right before halftime. The snap, the hold, the kick is up, and it's good. James Baird will knock it through from 31 yards, and Dixie State gets points off of the Adams State turnover, and that will end the second half of play. Dixie State 22, Adams State 3. And after Adams State opened with a field goal, it's been all Dixie State since then.
Yeah, Trailblazers do a good job, and again, not a great game management there, or time management there at the end of the quarter, but certainly you can't fault it too much. You come away with 3 points on a situation where you converted on a muff punt and got down the field on 2 plays and got a field goal there at the end of the half. And, good half for the Trailblazers, 22-3 after 2 quarters.
Dixie State a 22-3 lead. Let's step away the full 5-minute timeout. We come back with a Seven Oaks Jewelers halftime report on the Trailblazer Football Network.
Play Eric Amarola's Race Day Mix.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Dude, we've been here forever. They're about to close the store. Would you just pick something already?
I just want to look good, It's season 2 of Trailblazer Weekly. I just want to make sure I get the right ones.
Look at all this great stuff they have here at the Dixie State campus store. No matter what you choose, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I'm just going to go with the first one.
Catch the Season 2 premiere of Trailblazer Weekly on Wednesday, August 14th at 3 p.m. Presented by the Dixie State Campus Store.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
I I take the road less traveled, run free, unwind, unravel someplace outside with lots to do. Green trees, red rocks, and don't forget that blue sky. The sunshine shining, sunshine pouring on me. Think I might just stay a while. Say hooray all day because the sun is gonna shine on me. Sun is gonna shine on me. Sun's gonna shine on me.
Hey guys, how are you today?
Good.
I'm here to talk about how with technology you can make amazing worlds. Come with me. My team and I groomed the Halo world to life.
Is that you?
That is me. I wasn't a math genius and I knew nothing about coding. But you guys do. You guys have the power to change things.
I want your job.
I want you to have my job.
I take the road less traveled, run free, unwind, unravel someplace outside with lots to do. Green trees, red rocks, and don't forget that blue sky. The sunshine shining, sunshine pouring on me. Think I might just stay a while. Say hooray all day because the sun is gonna shine on me. Sun is gonna shine on me. Sun's gonna shine on me.
Na, 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 na.
Are we there yet?
Yep. We're here.
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back to Trailblazer Stadium, Dixie State. Leading 22-3 at half. We welcome you inside the Seven Oaks Jewelers halftime report on the Trailblazer Football Network. We are live on CEC TV, that's TDS Cable Channel 108, on the Dixie State Stretch Internet Portal, and on Radio Dixie 91.3 FM. The triple cast going today. Hard to believe that this is week 11 and that the final football game of the 2019 season is halfway through. There's 30 minutes of football left in this Dixie State football season, and it has just flown by and been a fantastic year, a fun year, and Dixie State leading this one 22-3 at the half. Let's look at some halftime numbers for you. Dixie State had some trouble getting things going. The first couple of drives, they would convert a couple times that they could not push through, could not score, and it was Adams State striking first with a 23-yard field goal to take a 3-0 lead. This is your scoring summary. Later, that was with the 10:42 mark of the first quarter. Later in the first quarter, Cody Wilstead came in at quarterback, and his first pass attempt was a 42-yard pass from Cody Wilstead, and he goes up, snares it with the one hand, and jogs into the end zone for a touchdown. Later in the half, Wilstead would find Jalen Powell for a 45-yard catch-and-run touchdown. A PAT failed, 13-3 Dixie State lead. Later in the quarter at the 3:16 mark, Chase Hess with a 6-yard touchdown pass in the back of the end zone from Wilstead. 2-point try failed, so 19-3 there. And then James Baird, a 31-yard field goal just before the half, his 11th make of the season. 11 of 13 for James Baird so far this season. As a team, Dixie State, 251 yards of total offense to 114 yards of total offense for Adams State. The Trailblazers, 266 yards through the air and just 15 on the ground. We had talked in the pregame, we had talked in our Trailblazer Weekly show earlier this week that we felt like and we thought that Adams State, or that Dixie State would be able to run the football against Adams State. They have not been able to do that so far, but I look for Dixie State to continue to try to mix in that run. This is an Adams State team that has given up over 200 yards rushing 4 or 5 times this season, including 291 yards to Colorado Mesa last week. So you'd think that Dixie State will try to be able to do that. But if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? The Dixie State Trailblazers having success through the air. Chase Hess having himself a game. 5 catches, 79 yards, 2 touchdowns. And this year you just feel like it's kind of been the year of the tight end. It's been a re-emergent year. We've not seen a tight end since Jodon Duncan in 2013 be as productive as Chase Hess has been this season, and I love to see those tight ends getting involved. Cody Wilstead finishes the half 8 of 13, 177 yards, 3 touchdowns, and leading this Dixie State team to a 22-3 lead. At the half, rejoined by my broadcast partner, Drayson Ball, in the Seven Oaks Jewelers halftime report. Drayson, your initial thoughts on the second half? Break it down, give us some analysis. You know, I've given some of those numbers, but what have you seen that you've liked from Dixie State, and maybe what are some things you'd like to see shored up in the second half?
I mean, I've liked the way their defense has played, obviously limiting the Grizzlies to just 3 points. You know, we one of the things we talked about coming into this game was what Adams State was going to have offensively, and you know they're down, you know, a lot of their guys. I mean, obviously we talked about John Buxta, their all RMAC candidate quarterback, their RMAC leader in reception yards in Tariq Bitson, and you know they just came into the game and just got off to a kind of a weird start offensively, as they were, you know, running wildcat plays and a lot of trick plays and some reverses, and I think that's kind of what we're going to see from them in the second half. I don't know that they necessarily trust their offense right now to be able to, say, you know, White, go out there and throw that, or throw it, or Morales, go out there and throw it for 20 or 30 times today, and see if we can get the offense going in that regard. And so they've had to kind of depend on these kind of wildcat formations, these reverses and trick plays and things like that, and these halfback passes, and it just hasn't really worked out for them. And you know, it's hard to get consistency in your offense when you're doing things like that, and not being able to, you know, get any sort of consistency going through the ground game. I mean, they've been able to move the ball at times on the ground so far today. 42 yards of yards gained on the ground compared to just 72 through the air. And so they've really just not been able to kind of find their base, and coming in with an offense that's just been banged up and injuries. You wouldn't expect anything less, but credit to the Trailblazers defense. They've not been fooled on a lot of those trick plays, and they've been playing very well defensively, and they've been disciplined. Haven't committed a tremendous amount of penalties either as a team. So I think you've gotten a good base defensively, and you've limited them to just 3 points. And the 3 points came off of a turnover in that first quarter. We remember Casey Allison on the very first series, the very first possession of the game for Dixie State. Casey Allison caught a pass, fumbled that one, and gave Adams State great field position, and they were able to march down the field a couple of yards and get into field goal range and converted the field goal to give them the 3 points they have on the scoreboard up to this point. But other than that, your defense has played excellent. You've not really allowed them to get any sort of momentum going defensively. And then, of course, you talk about the offense, and Cody Wilstead obviously comes in in relief of Tanner Hammond, who struggled early on. Tanner Hammond, 11 of 16, played kind of pretty well, but just was not able to kind of give your offense that spark early on. As we saw, Cody Wilstead came in now 8 of 13 for 177 yards and 3 touchdowns, and I think that was kind of really the spark that got the Trailblazers going, was when they were playing well defensively, they got that spark from Cody Wilstead coming in offensively, and that's what led them to the 22-3 lead at halftime.
Trailblazers leading it 22-3 at the half. Let's take a look at some first half highlights. We've talked about them, but let's take a look at them. Of course, Tanner Hammond to Casey Allison. This was what led to that Adams State field goal, as the ball squirted loose, and it was close. I mean, it's one that you could argue was forced by the ground. The referees did not agree. They ruled it a fumble. Adams State would eventually go down and connect on a field goal, as we take kind of an extended look at after the fumble. Tanner Hammond, Chase Hess has been huge in this game. 5 catches, 79 yards, 2 touchdowns. You see both Hammond and Wilstead have hooked up with Chase Hess through the air. This is what really got Dixie State going here. The first muff punt, Ricky Johnson scoops it up, and then the very next play, of course, you know the rest. Wilstead, what a catch by Chase Hess.
Yeah, the one-handed catch by Chase Hess. He's been absolutely everywhere today, and rightly so. A huge guy, 6'4", 230 pounds. Not a lot of safeties, defensive backs, or even linebackers can cover him at that size.
Later in the half, Cody Wilstead finds Jalen Powell, runs under it, carries it into the end zone. That was the second Dixie State touchdown of the half. Blows a kiss to Stan Plew, the photographer. I didn't catch that the first time. Stan is an absolute stud. Here's your Philly special, as you like to call it, Jason.
Yeah.
Well, as everyone likes to call it.
Everyone likes to call this double reverse pass back to the quarterback and executed perfectly. And then, of course, later in that drive, Cody Wilstead finds Andrew Canelli-Robas on a screen pass and has Chase Hess. He's doing it all. He's catching passes, he's blocking downfield, and leads up to a huge gainer for Andrew Canelli-Robas. Sets him up inside the 10-yard line. 2 plays later, he finds Chase Hess in the back of the end zone for his second touchdown of the game. A beautiful pitch and catch from Wilstead to Hess.
Dixie State, a 22-3 lead at the half, and of course, it was 19-3 at that point, and then another muffed punt. Adams State having trouble fielding those punts. A couple plays later, great shot there of James Baird, knocking through a 31-yard field goal, his 11th successful field goal of the season as he continues to tack on to that single-season field goals made record. Let's step away. We'll take another 3-minute timeout inside the Seven Oaks Jewelers halftime report. We'll come back. We'll give you some updates from around the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference and let you know what's going on there and get you set for second half action. 3-minute timeout and back on the Trailblazer Football Network.
Dude, we've been here forever. They're about to close the store. Would you just pick something already?
I just want to look good, you know. It's season 2 of Trailblazer Weekly. I just want to make sure I get the right ones.
Look at all this great stuff they have here at the Dixie State campus store. No matter what you choose, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I'm just going to go with the first one.
Catch the Season 2 premiere of Trailblazer Weekly on Wednesday, August 14th at 3 p.m. Presented by the Dixie State Campus Store.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
I take the road less traveled, run free, unwind, unravel someplace outside with lots to do. Green trees, red rocks, and don't forget that blue sky. The sunshine shining, sunshine pouring on me. Think I might just stay a while. Say hooray all day because the sun is gonna shine on me. Sun is gonna shine on me. Sun's gonna shine on me.
Hey guys, how are you today?
Good.
I'm here to talk about how with technology you can make amazing worlds. Come with me. My team and I bring the Halo world to life.
Is that you?
That is me. I wasn't a math genius and I knew nothing about coding. But you guys do. You guys have the power to change things.
I want your job.
I want you to have my job.
I take the road less traveled, run free, unwind, unravel someplace outside with lots to do. Green trees, red rocks, and don't forget that blue sky. The sunshine shining, sunshine pouring on me. Think I might just stay a while. Say hooray all day because the sun is gonna shine on me. Sun is gonna shine on me. Sun's gonna shine on me.
Welcome back inside the Seven Oaks Jewelers halftime report. Time now to take a look around the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference and give you some scores and updates from around the conference. At halftime, Colorado School of Mines, the number 7 ranked team in the country, is now 30 minutes of football away from clinching an outright RMAC title. As the Orediggers lead 35-14 at Chadron State at the half. Chadron State riding that 5-game win streak, including a win over Dixie State. And Colorado School of Mines, it's like it's on its way to a victory there. CSU Pueblo hosting Western Colorado, and it's just 13-7 at the half. Keep an eye on that one throughout the rest of the afternoon. Fort Lewis, a 14-7 lead over South Dakota Mines at halftime. And Colorado Mesa, 17-0 over New Mexico Highlands, approaching halftime in that one. Black Hills State is leading 1-0. I don't think in the second quarter.
That's the soccer score.
That's the soccer score. It's the football stat page. They didn't get they've got a PAT attempt in, but with no touchdown entered. So they're missing a play there. So it looks like it's 7-0 Black Hills State over Azusa Pacific, who has really had a down year this year. Just 1-8 for the Cougars. Dixie State's old GNAC foe. But Black Hills State is not. But
the team they'll play next year.
Dixie State will play Azusa Pacific
in their division
on this field next year.
Their Division I level. I mean,
yeah, but
during their Division I schedule is what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
They'll play them next year as a D2 opponent in their Division I schedule.
And their Division I schedule.
Need to elaborate on my thoughts.
I thought you were announcing something because there've been talk about, not necessarily talk, but a lot of people saying, well, Azusa Pacific's, they're a great program, they're a big school. Why aren't they making the jump as well? And it just hasn't happened yet to this point. Well, that'll do it for your RMAC updates and for your Seven Oaks Jewelers halftime report. The Trailblazers leading 22-3 at the half. Let's keep it right here. Turn the crowd mic back up for you and let you listen in to the sounds of the game as we begin the second half of play. Dixie State will kick off to start this thing off. Trailblazers a 22-3 lead. Now, before I forget, we got 20 seconds left. This is going to be the first time that I've ever had to do this. And I'm going to say I'm going to pull a Mac Brown because I was watching a BYU football game a few years ago. Second time BYU's come up today. And it was a Friday night game up in Provo. And Mac Brown, before he was back coaching again, was doing color commentary on ESPN for a game. And all of a sudden, midway through the third quarter, he's just not making comments anymore. And finally, the play-by-play announcer said that he had to leave to catch a plane to get to where he was going to be calling a game on the Saturday. I have to leave in about 45 minutes to head over to the Burns Arena to take care of women's basketball stats. End-over-end kick. It's field. They're going to run a reverse. Here's Frederick. He's got it, the 15, 20, and then hit from behind, swallowed up across the 25 to the 26-yard line. Out of State goes trickeration, and Out of State will take over at its own 26. But I have to leave in about 45 minutes here as there is some overlap between our women's basketball game today and our football game, and my dual role as an assistant SID and then as the radio voice. Associate AD for Media Relations, Steve Johnson, has to stay here to continue to do the stats. And then I've got to go over and do stats at the women's basketball game, as you see Frederick there being tackles. But when I have to step away in about 45 minutes, Drayson will fill the role of both play-by-play announcer and color commentary. And we'll just enjoy these last 45 minutes here. Handoff up the middle. Paimeanu is swallowed up and driven backwards. And he'll pick up 3 yards before the forward progress is stopped, and a 2nd down and 7 upcoming.
And Adams State comes out in first play in the second half. They give it to the running back there and continuing just to try to get this run game going, and just a dive up the middle gets 3 yards, but the Trailblazers are doing a very good job. If they want to get 3 yards running, you'll do that and see if you can hopefully get a stop on 4th down. If they're going to get 3 yards every single run, you'll give them that if that's what they want, and then hopefully you can get a 3rd down stop.
On 2nd down, back to Paimeanu, and he goes for the 1st down and more. He needed 7, and he got 8, and the chains move. Out of State, pretty good-looking drive so far.
And that's one of the bigger rushes so far of the game. Had one go in the first quarter to Paimeanu at 15 yards, but since then, that 7-yard pickup is one of the bigger ones that they've got so far, and they pick up the 1st down on back-to-back run plays.
And I've just noticed something. I'll give you this stat after the fact here in just a moment. Back to Paimeanu on 1st down. He'll dive forward. He's got 6 yards, maybe even 7, and this run game working for Out of State. Dixie State, as I read my stat sheet wrong at halftime, actually has negative 15 yards rushing. So it is all entirely the pass game for Dixie State. And now this defense trying to deal with the rushing game of Adams State.
Has a lot to do with the big sack by Cody Wilstead, and then the play that we were, asking for a penalty on, the big tackle for loss on Seiji Luongo.
On second down, Paimanu again. He gets 1 yard this time, and it'll be third down and 3 upcoming for the Trailblazers. Dylan Hendrickson slow to get up for Dixie State. Now he's up. Going to try to walk it off. Will Payne is coming onto the field. I don't see any other defensive linemen leaving the field. There's only 4 of them out there. No, now Bruno Silva's out there. He's going to help Hendrickson off the field.
Able to walk off under his own power, maybe just shaken up, and will have to come out mandatory one play. If a trainer comes onto the field to assist you in any way, have to miss at least one play as he under his own power.
Definitely taking his time to get off. Yeah. He came up slow another time earlier in the first half. Bruno Silva getting a shout out over the public address and speakers. Oh, here we go. Back in play. Third down and 3 to go for Adams State. They hurry up to the line, snap it quickly, and they're going to try to run it right up the middle. And he goes nowhere. Ball comes out, and Adams State has it, and then is tackled at the 40-yard line, so it'll still be a 4-yard loss. But that, for just a moment, looked like it might turn into some sort of not an intentional fumble, Ruski, but a play that it might roll out to the left and enable the ball carrier to scoop it back up and run with it.
That's the
4 red jerseys.
Morales.
4 red jerseys. Picked down to get it. They couldn't get it, and it rolled out between their legs.
We've seen some bizarre plays. That almost looked more like a rugby scrum where you just get the sides together, and then you throw the ball in the middle, and whoever comes up with it, and
my goodness,
kicked out to the side, and holy cow, we've seen a lot today.
4th down and 5. Adams State going to punt the ball away. Side-by-side kick. Smith will back up, make the catch, calls the fair catch. Inside the 15 at the 13-yard line, and that is where Dixie State will take over.
Trailblazers retake the field on their first possession in the second half. Had a great first half, 22 points. They were being outscored in that first quarter coming into today's game, 55-44 by opponents. It's the only quarter in which they are being outscored right now. We know what they've done in the third quarter of games. 117 points scored for Dixie State. They've only allowed 35 points to opponents scored in the third quarter. Look for them to be aggressive here in the third quarter, see if they can get 2 or 3 more scores and put this one away early before this one gets even into the fourth quarter.
2 running back set for Cody Wilstead. He'll give to Seiji. Seiji feeling his way, and he's going to pick up just 1 yard. The Trailblazers trying to get that run game going. Had a hard time with that so far. Second down, and they're going to give him 2 yards officially at the 11-yard line. Second down and 8. 2 receivers near side. They give to Seiji again. He's free. 20, 25, 30. Cutting back inside. And there's the senior, Seiji Luongo, out to the 35-yard line. A pickup of 24 yards for Seiji Luongo.
Yeah, good run here by Seiji, the senior, as a counter play. He fakes as if he's coming to the right and then comes back to the left. A good jump cut there and gets into the hole and brings a big carry for senior. First down.
Play action with Seiji this time. Wilstead steps up, fires across the middle, and throws it up and over the outstretched hands of Jalen Powell. He put some zip on that one, and Powell, as he's walking back to the huddle, saying, hey, just bring it down just a little bit. Give me a shot to get that thing.
Yeah, Jalen Powell just 5'10". If he was 6'3", he might have been able to go up and get this one. But this
Chase
one
Hess would have caught it.
Chase Hess certainly would have caught it. He's 6'4", 230, but that one just going a little bit too tall for the receiver there. And Cody Wilstead.
And that comment, by the way, is all in jest. That's just Jalen Powell has been phenomenal for this Dixie State offense this year. Pitch out right to Say-Jay, and he's going to lose 3 yards. Well, the ref makes a one-handed catch as Say-Jay tosses it back into the scrum.
That comment made morely just based on sheer size than actual ability. So just to clarify that one, obviously Jalen Powell's had a tremendous season and been one of the better receivers on this Dixie State receiving core, as the Trailblazers are going to have their hands full on this third down play. 3rd down and 13. Line to gain is the 35-yard line.
Three receivers split out left after Smith motions over to the left. Wilstead will step up now. He thought about running. Will pull it down. Fires downfield. Chase Hess can't get to it. Incomplete.
And I'm not sure if Cody Wilstead saw Xavier Smith. Smith was streaking down the middle of the field and was nowhere near, probably within 40 yards of any other receiver. It would have been a tough throw to make from Cody Wilstead, having to throw back across his body as he was rolling out to his right, but Xavier Smith was absolutely wide open. He would have walked into the end zone.
$9:52 to play. Dixie State, a 22-3 lead. And Wilstead going to boot this ball high kick, and that's going to bounce toward the sideline, and that will roll out of bounds across the 30 at the 32-yard line, and that's where Adams State will take over. He got under that one a little bit more than he has the other couple of punts. And who knew, though? And we joked about this on the broadcast last week, but who knew that this Dixie State quarterback lineup could punt the football the way they do?
Yeah, and we'll see your defense coming back out onto the field. See if they can get another stop on this second possession for the Grizzlies.
9:42 remaining on 1st down. A run right up the middle. And that's how you end a tackle without throwing a running back to the ground. Paimanu swallowed up, and Connor McKay had an opportunity to do the same thing. He takes the high road.
And rather than trying to pick him up and body slam him over you, he tries to turn his body and throw him down sideways. And eventually, when the whistle blows, he's let him go. And it was a good display of sportsmanship to not retaliate in a dangerous fashion like we saw earlier in the game against A.J. Luongo.
And, it shows the growth of this team, too. You may have seen that earlier in the season from this Dixie State team. Fire downfield, and it's incomplete. Temi Noah in coverage. Pass was intended for Zaire Banner.
First time we've seen this Adams State team really kind of air it out like this downfield, at least in this second half, and this one just thrown a little bit too far. It looks like that was Banner that was the intended receiver there, and just not able to run underneath that one, and forces a 3rd down and 10. Now, again, this is a situation. They stopped him on a 1st down run play. They didn't complete a 2nd down pass. Your 3rd down and 10. You need to throw the ball here in this situation. Certainly a passing down in situation. See what they do here.
It's Morales at quarterback. Will fire to the sideline, and it's intercepted. Incomplete. Simonte Loco-Tui caught the ball on the run.
They're saying he's out of bounds.
They're saying he's out of bounds. It's probably the right call. I mean, he's moving so quickly toward that sideline. I'm sure he's out of bounds. Darius Nash tried to go up over the top. He gets upended. And Loco-Tui, we're not going to be able to see the sideline.
Oh.
You can't see his feet, so there's no way that.
Yeah. If only he could have tossed it back in bounds.
Yeah. Why?
I mean, come on. They've practiced that play, right? I mean, they had to have practiced that play before.
Well, we need that Sports Center top 10 again. Adams State punt is away, forcing Xavier Smith to his right, and then it's going to take a bounce. And, oh, my goodness. Dixie State.
Not sure what that
And that exclamation kind of just came out. Dixie State is going to have the football at the 24-yard line. Xavier Smith was watching the ball as it rolled, and then I don't know if he was just trying to scoop it up. We got to take a media. We'll describe the play after the media timeout. 8:42 to go. Dixie State 22-3 lead. 90-second timeout and back.
actually, no, I'm not busy right now. Yeah, I can talk.
Roger that. That's what we'll go for.
We may not always play good, but when we want to look good, we come to the Dixie State campus store.
Located on the second floor of the Gardner Center. We'll see you there.
1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother, you, your football buddy, your football buddy, you, your plumber,
Breathe right into your foot.
your plumber's masseuse,
Yes.
you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. With early diagnosis, pre-diabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
There is a place where rocks bleed and nature blushes on a battlefield green with envy, where dimples determine destiny and a tiny wooden tee holds the outcome in the balance. There is a place where friends are opponents and opponents are friends, where the prize is elusive, the conquest is captivating, and the score isn't settled till the drinks are down. There is a place.
Trailblazers, a 22-3 lead. We're going to see this replay. We may not get through it before. We may have to come. Let's come back to it after this first down play. Wilstead on first down will hand off to Sajay, and he is swallowed up. This Adams State team fired up, not letting anything get past them on the ground. Let's go to that replay of how Dixie State got the ball back on the punt. And I was starting to describe this before we had to go to the media. But the punt is away. And here's Xavier Smith is watching the ball roll around, and he goes down and tried to pick it up, and he just couldn't get it, and he tapped it, and thank goodness his teammate Lovelace Rufus was there to scoop it back up. Drayson and I were joking during the break that almost looked like he tapped it to him intentionally. Second down. Wilstead will swing it left side. Powell makes the catch and is tackled after a 3-yard pickup after the catch. And it'll be 3rd down and 8 for this Trailblazer offense. And Dixie State in danger of having to punt the football away quickly here.
And then looks like our score bug on the screen not working at this point, at least the game clock not working at this point. We'll work to get that fixed for you. 7:42 remaining right now on the game clock. We'll get working on that score bug to get that fixed for you as soon as possible.
Wilstead on 3rd down and 8. Low snap. Will bring it up. Forced out to his right. On the run toward the sideline. Will throw it downfield. Dantzler changes direction. Makes the catch. Still on his field. On his feet. He's got the sideline. 20, 10, 5. He's going to score. Touchdown. DeJuan Dantzler, your Dixie State receiving king, has done it again.
And this was a great job done by DeJuan Dantzler. He was able to kind of readjust his route based on Cody Wilstead rolling out to his right. This one was...
Hold the phones, though.
Touchdown.
There you go. It is a touchdown. Continue, as you were.
As I was saying, DeJuan Dantzler was originally running this route towards the middle of the field. You see, kind of runs towards the middle of the field, recognizes that Wilstead is rolling out to his right. He cuts the route back towards the sideline and has a step on his defender. And then, of course, once he gets by the diving cornerback, it's green grass all the way to the end zone and a huge touchdown by DeJuan Dantzler, who tore up Colorado School of Mines last week.
Now finally looks like a football score, 28-3.
And we're going to ruin it by an
We're
extra
going to ruin it with an extra point. 7:20 to go. Dixie State at 28-3 lead. The kick is up. And he missed.
No good.
Pushed it right again. First time this season he's missed 2 in a game. He just didn't want to see. He's got, the little OCD, didn't want to see that weird score up on the scoreboard. Dixie State 28-3 lead, 7:20 to go in the 4th quarter. Let's take a 60-second timeout and come back on the Trailblazer Football Network.
When I was growing up, my mom was extremely tidy. We were trained to put things back where we got them from. One day, when I walked into my mom's house, I felt like I walked to someone else's house. There was stuff everywhere, and just growing up the way I grew up, and to see this transition was very alarming.
When Sean talked to me, it was a wake-up call, and that's when I went to the doctor.
The forest is a whole hidden world of wonders. What better place to let your imagination soar? Experience nature and create a memory you can share. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest or park near you.
.7:20 to play, third quarter. Dixie State a 28-3 lead. James Baird, kickoff, will go into the end zone for a touchback. Some extracurriculars after the play. Darman Natoa locked up an Adams State player. They break him up, no flags thrown. And Dixie State jogging the defense back out onto the field after a 74-yard touchdown pitch and catch from Cody Wilstead to DeJuan Dantzler.
Yeah, great play, and even better route ran by DeJuan Dantzler. A heads-up move by the veteran, the senior on senior day. Again, recognizing that if he's continuing to run his route, which is taking him into the middle of the field, if Wilstead's rolling out to his right, it's going to be almost an impossible catch. He does a 180, comes back towards the sidelines, and makes it an easier throw.
On a first down, Adams State, quarterback keeper up the middle for 2 yards. Second down and 8 upcoming. Maybe give him 3 yards officially.
Markel White on the quarterback keeper. Looks like it was just a straight-up designed quarterback run, and he gets up the middle for 3 yards. Adams State, nothing doing so far on their first couple of possessions in this second half. It'll be a second down and 7.
Second and 7. Now they look back over to the sideline, get the actual play call. They'll adjust. Running back moves from right to left hip. 2 receivers split out left. White will roll out left. Pulls the ball down now, fires, and it's incomplete. Darius Nash trying to find an interception, but the ball was thrown too far out of bounds and incomplete.
Intended for Zaire Banner. And this one just led him too far to the sidelines. Nash thought he might have had a play on it, as you see here. White rolls out to his left. He is a left-handed quarterback, so going towards his strong side, but leads Banner a little bit too far. Nash not able to catch up to it as he was a step behind Banner, and this one just thrown out of bounds. It'll force a 3rd down and 7.
So 3rd down and 7 for the Grizzlies. Dixie State trying to get the ball back. White throws to the sideline, catch is made. It's Banner. He's got the first down, needed 7, picked up 9, and the chains move for Adams State.
And the Grizzlies did a nice job of picking up the Dixie State blitz. Dixie State brought Nash and Alex Lilliard on that right side, and they just got rid of it, but did a good job of getting him in a little extra second, a little extra time there as they picked up that blitz, that safety blitz by Darius Nash. Picks up 7 yards, enough for the first down.
Clock rolling, 6:09 remaining. 3rd quarter. Handoff on first down. Trying to bounce it to the outside, not able to turn the corner. Helmet flies off toward the end of the play.
It's Doosan Sproles, who tried to get out to the edge, a speedy runner, but can't get the edge on this fast Dixie State defense. You see holes plugged up, and he bounces it to the outside. Samote Lokutu, he's first to wrap him up. And then 3 other Trailblazers come to help him out. Darius Nash, Connor McKay. Excuse me, not Connor McKay. Yeah, Connor McKay in on the tackle.
I still can't believe it's the last game of the year.
Tough to believe.
5:20 remaining. Morales in at quarterback. He'll hand off. Off tackle left side, more up the middle. And that'll go for 7 yards on 2nd down and 10. 3rd down and 3 now. And the Grizzlies are going to hustle back to the line quickly. And the run will be stopped just shy of the marker.
Going to depend on the spot. It's right near the 47-yard line. Line to gain is the 47. It's going to depend on the spot, but look to be maybe just a
first down.
A little bit short, but the spot gives him enough for the first down. As I said, it was going to be close. I knew it was going to be close to the 47-yard line.
Adams State going quick here. And they'll bounce a run. Started right, bounced it out left, and Alex Lilliard there to make the tackle, but not before a 7-yard gain. And Payamanu with the run as Adams State has gone no huddle. Payamanu again, off tackle right side, and he is thrown to the ground.
And Adams State may have just see if they can, might have found something going to this hurry-up offense and not allowing Dixie State to sub or get a chance to catch their breath. They've been moving the ball efficiently on this series as they've gone no huddle. Now they take a little bit more time and substitute on this critical 3rd down and 3 to keep the chains moving.
3rd down and 2, ball at the Dixie State 45-yard line. 14 seconds on the play clock. Here's Morales to Paimanu, and he'll surge forward. Where are they going to spot it? This one definitely looks to be, well, maybe not. First down again.
You thought this one was short, and I thought this one they definitely had it. So roles were reversed. They just need to make. If they're going to get it, they just need to get a yard across the line of scrimmage just to make it.
Yeah,
make it.
Stop getting these close ones.
Yeah,
making us look bad.
Get across the marker.
First down and 10. Adams State with the football. Dixie State 47-yard line. This one, big hole, Frederick. He may go 20 and tackled from behind inside the 20. And then tosses the ball back into the air for no reason. He broke free, a big gainer up the middle, and then just tossed the ball in a kind of a celebratory fashion high up into the air. On first down, another run. This one swallowed up. And Sproles goes for no gain.
Milwaukee brings him down right at the line of scrimmage. A good job to grab him and wrap him up, not let him get away from you. Had some help by some other Dixie State defenders as well. But Milwaukee first on the scene and brings him down for no gain. 2nd and goal.
2nd and goal, ball at the 9-yard line. Can Dixie State hold the Grizzlies to another field goal attempt? And at this point in the game, would the Grizzlies settle for a field goal attempt? Probably not. Adams State in no hurry. Morales, they're going to throw this time. Checks down, throws to the end zone, incomplete. Great coverage by the freshman, Krishan Gordon.
Yeah, very good coverage by Krishan Gordon. This was just kind of a little bit of an out route, just kind of go towards the back pylon. Not quite a fade route exactly, but towards the back pylon, kind of towards the sidelines. But Krishan Gordon running step for step with Banner and gets that right hand out on a dive and knocks the ball out of bounds. Incomplete.
3rd down and goal. Morales to throw again. This one is caught. Touchdown, Grizzlies. And now a flag after the play.
This one is just a quick slant. And Jordan Simon just had a step on his defender and got the inside leverage. You see here, Morales drops back and just as soon as he hits that 3rd step on the backdrop, throws and finds Simon over the middle for the touchdown. And here comes the call from the referee about the flag on the play.
I think it's going to be against Adams State.
The result of the play is a touchdown. After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 69, offense. That is his first unsportsmanlike of the game. That foul will be enforced on the kickoff. Try.
Try what? Just kidding. PAT. Do or do not. There is no try.
Is this like a Nike ad or what?
Oh my goodness. I shouldn't have done that to you. Now everyone's going to know you haven't seen any of the Star Wars movies. The PAT is up and through. That's Yoda. That is Yoda, my friend. The PAT is up and in. Dixie State up and through, I should say. Dixie State a 28-10 lead, 2:28 to go. 60-second timeout and back on the Trailblazer Football Network.
Play Eric Amarola's Race Day Mix.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
.228 to go, Dixie State. A 28-10 lead after the Adams State touchdown. The penalty is going to be enforced on the kickoff. So Adams State kicker Eric Ruiz will be kicking from his own 20-yard line. A line drive kickoff will be fielded and bobbled by Dwan Dantzler. Dantzler is at the 30, 35-40, 45-50, flag flies. There's going to be a hold. Dantzler is tackled from behind at the 30. Flag down behind the play.
Yeah, too bad. Dantzler got a lot of room to run on this one and got into great territory, but here's the flag call. It's going to be holding.
Dixie State offense.
First down, Dixie.
C.J. Luongo's got the flag.
You see here,
kind
of bobbled initially by Dantzler, but had Darman Nato out in front and found a big hole, and unfortunately was called back by the holding on Dixie State. Still good field position even after the penalty called back, and they'll have the ball. And better field position than they would have had neither of the two penalties occurred. So,
in a way, they just kind of offset.
Sure. Fair enough.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this will be my last Dixie State football drive of the season. When this drive is complete, I've got to run next door to the Burns Arena and run some women's basketball statistics. A lot going on campus this week. We've got women's basketball. Dixie State men's basketball team has two other teams in, so we'll have two men's basketball games on campus this evening as well. Wilstead, play action, fires across the middle, incomplete. Pass intended for Malcolm Ross Turner.
And Ross Turner just runs a little slant route here, and was contacted a little bit by the defensive back, but I think pretty good coverage there by Dion Mays. Just maybe had a hand on the jersey in the back, but maybe not enough to impede the route of Malcolm Ross Turner. And no flag was thrown on that play.
2:13 remaining. Wilstead to Sejay. Trying to find room, and he'll go down for no gain. Been a tough day for Sejay Luongo.
Certainly has been. He broke the one rush earlier in the second half, but nothing doing for the majority of the game for the senior running back. And the rushing king here at Dixie State, leading in all-time rush yards and all-time touchdowns as well.
Score update, Colorado School of Mines 56, Chadron State 14. Wilstead, as pressure comes, will dump it to Sejay Luongo out of the backfield. And spins away, spinning out of a tackle, but will be shy of a first down by a couple of yards. Cody Wilstead got a little dinged up on the play as well.
But a good play by Wilstead.
It looked like he was just throwing the ball away, and all of a sudden Sejay was there.
Just to get rid of
that
one.
He almost got a first down.
He certainly did. Long will try to spin out of that one and pick up an extra yard or two to get that first down, but it falls 2 yards short. It'll be a 4th down and 2. And Wilstead will just back up and will kick this one away. 55 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
Snap to Wilstead. Now they're going to fake it. And they toss to Ricky Johnson. 50, 45, 40, and tackled out of bounds. And that is why you have your quarterback punt the football.
And we've been calling for this all season. Ever since we saw Keaton Mott take the first punt of the season, we've said they're setting up this play at some point in the year with their quarterback as their punter. This is what they're doing, and they finally set it up and worked to perfection. Cody Wilstead finds Ricky Johnson streaking down the sidelines.
Oh, I love it.
And a huge 4th down conversion there for Dixie State on the fake punt.
I love it. Dixie State, first down and 10 from the 38-yard line. Play action with Sage. And then Sage throws a huge block. Wilstead throws downfield. Dantzler can't get it to it. Incomplete. Sage Luongo throwing a huge block for his quarterback, but Wilstead not able to put that ball on the money. 8 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
I think Dantzler just may have stopped his route a little bit, and Wilstead tried to lead him a little bit, but by that time, Dantzler's momentum had stopped and just was not able to run underneath that one. But a big block, like you mentioned in the backfield. Luongo picks up that blitzer and gives Cody Wilstead a few extra seconds to try to find Dantzler downfield, but incomplete.
Second down at 10, snap to Wilstead. We'll swing it to Jalen Powell, trying to get the sideline. He's at the 30, cutting back inside the 30, and now he'll dance out of bounds. Got the first down, and that will do it for the third quarter. Dixie State 28, Adams State 10 as we complete the third quarter of football. We'll take a 60-second timeout and come right back on the Trailblazer Football Network.
1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother, you, your football buddy,
hey, can you guys hear me?
Football buddy, you, your plumber,
Breathe right into your foot.
your plumber's masseuse,
Yes.
you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. With early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Hi, I'm Smokey Cole Bear, filling in because for 75 years, Smokey only said,
"Only you can prevent wildfires."
Meanwhile, the song was wrong. We did start the fire. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Welcome back inside the broadcast booth. Probably the final time I will welcome you back inside the booth this season as Dixie State. It leads Adams State 28-10, and after this drive is over, I will have to bail over to women's basketball to get the stats going. Cody Wilstead still at quarterback. Dixie State 2 receivers split out to either side for Wilstead. Wilstead to the end zone, incomplete. Hit as he throws. And they'll reset and try it again on second down. He had to say, if he could have wanted, he could have dumped it to Sage Luongo, center of the field, and let him run with it, but pressure came and he just had to get rid of it.
A bit of a dangerous throw, a back shoulder throw by Wilstead, but he's got the arm strength to be able to throw that one out towards the back of the end zone. Just can't find Jalen Powell, who is streaking towards the goalpost.
Wilstead will sling it to DeJuan Dantzler, right side, makes the catch. He's inside the 15, 10, 5, fighting for the pylon. Couldn't get there, but it's first and goal for the Trailblazers inside the 5, and now they're going to mark him out of bounds at the 13-yard line.
Wow. Must have stepped out of bounds much before he was actually tackled. We see here he gets the sidelines, and they say he stepped out of bounds right there. Looks like a good call. Looks like he might have kicked up some of those rubber pellets on this turf. That sets up the Trailblazers first down inside the 15-yard line.
First down at 10 to the 13. Dixie State will have one first down available. Wilstead. Two-step drop looking. We'll dump it to Sage out of the backfield. He's at the 10 and diving towards the 5-yard line. He'll be stopped at the 6, a 7-yard gain.
And Luongo just kind of slips out of the backfield here, and this was the play you were talking about, just kind of a little bit of a check down for Sage Luongo, who fights forward, picks up 7 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd and 3 from the 6-yard line.
I'd love to see Sage get in the end zone here. Or Casey Allison. Just want to see these seniors go out with a bang. Wilstead pulls it down. He's going to have to scramble, runs out of one tackle. He's at the 5, inside the 5, and then piled on. He'll get the first down. A deep Jowney is down behind the play. So it's a first down for the Trailblazers, but both teams are going to be sent to the sideline for an injury timeout.
Wilstead does a good job of recognizing the pocket collapse before he's sacked and evades the pressure, steps up into the pocket, is able to run for the first down, and he'll set up a 1st and goal inside the 3.
So let's step away. We'll take a 30-second injury timeout and come right back on the Trailblazer Football Network.
Where do you find the titans of classical music in St. George? Classical music on Radio St. George, 100.3 FM. Where do you find the legends of jazz? Evenings on Radio St. George, 100.3 FM.
Welcome back to broadcast booth. Dixie State a 28-10 lead. It's 1st and goal for Dixie State from the 3-yard line. 2-back set for the Trailblazers. Andrew Kennelly Robles, there's that Natoa. That's Darman Natoa. Directly behind Wilstead. And then Luongo behind him. High snap. They'll give it to Say fighting for the end zone. Couldn't get there. No gain on the play. 2nd and goal from the 3. They're trying to get Say in there.
Yeah, we mentioned earlier in the game that they love to run Seiji Luongo here. He's just so crafty when he gets in these situations where there's not a whole lot of room to maneuver. He's small and quick and agile on his feet that he can find the smallest of holes and push forward, but nothing there doing almost maybe a loss of a yard on the play.
They did say a loss of 1. 2nd and goal now from the 4. Wilstead fakes the handoff, rolls out to his right, looking, dumps back at the end zone. Chase Hess, touchdown. 3-touchdown game for Chase Hess. And that is Cody Wilstead's 5th touchdown pass of the game, which ties a single-game record for the Trailblazers. And then Hess's touchdown catch also ties a single-game record for touchdown catches in a game.
And what a great play design, a play action. Same play, just reverse. The play action forces all the action to the left side of the formation. Wilstead rolls out to his right and dumps it off to Chase Hess in the back of the end zone as the Trailblazers go for 1, and the PAT is up, and it is...
PAT is up and good.
Good.
35-10, Dixie State has the lead, and for the final time this season, as I toss the headset over to Drayson, I bid you farewell. This game is not over, but I've got to go next door to women's basketball. Thanks so much for listening to us all season long. This has been a fantastic season. Drayson and I will break it down in the coming weeks on Trailblazer Weekly. Thanks so much. It's like baseball, Drayson. We're tossing the late innings over to you to bring us home. 12:30 to go. Dixie State a 35-10 lead. Let's take a 30-second timeout, just a 30. Come right back on the Trailblazer Football Network.
Where do you find the titans of classical music in St. George? Classical music on Radio St. George, 100.3 FM. Where do you find the legends of jazz? Evenings on Radio St. George, 100.3 FM.
Welcome inside the broadcast booth. James Baird set to put a foot into this one after the touchdown by Dixie State. And it's in play. Back at the goal line receiving this one, going right to left, is Banner. Now comes back to the right into the middle of the field. He's still on his feet to the 30. Rips out another tackle. Now backpedaling. Goes back towards the 28-yard line. Kind of did a pirouette and was running backwards at one point, but is eventually taken down at the 28-yard line. And that is where Adams State will take over. Mentioned the Trailblazers scored on that previous possession. Cody Wilstead throws his 5th touchdown pass of the game, tying a Dixie State single-game record. Remember, ties him last season. The last game on this field last year was that thrilling win over Colorado School of Mines. And Mike Sanders threw for 5 touchdown passes in that game as well. The Trailblazers marched down the field extend their lead 35-10 as Morales drops back to pass, throws out to the left side, and it's going to be incomplete near the 45-yard line. Ball just was underthrown a little bit. Was not able to get it out to the intended receiver as Morales just kind of short-armed that one and was not able to get it out to his receiver. It'll force a second down and 10 from the Grizzlies' 28-yard line. Morales back, gives to the running back. That's Payamanu. He bursts the speed, rushes forward, picks up 6 yards on the play out to the 35-yard line. Payamanu has been their leading rusher up to this point in the game. And Payamanu has been carrying the bulk of their offense up to this point. Payamanu, 15 attempts for 51 yards. Excuse me, not the leading rusher. Trails Frederick by 2 yards. This play is a halfback pass out to the right. Hit as he throws, thrown up in the air, and is intercepted. Aaron Simpson pulls this one in, intercepted, still on his feet across the 50, to the 40, and he's going to be wrapped up and pulled down at the 40-yard line. A halfback pass that went long, and Aaron Simpson gets his second interception of the day, his 7th on the season, and he is into Grizzly territory at the 40-yard line, and the Trailblazers are set up. First down and 10 at that point in the field. Tremendous play by Simpson there. Just a halfback pass kind of stretched out to the right, and this one was just overthrown the receiver. There was 2 Dixie State defenders there. Nash was also in the area, but Aaron Simpson pulls this one down and gets the ball back for Dixie State. Now Wilstead back out onto the field. Shotgun formation, twins receivers to the right. The give is to Darman Atoa, and he goes nowhere. That gets hit at the line of scrimmage and driven backwards, a loss of 1 on the play. Darman Atoa is taken down at the 41-yard line. You see, almost was reluctant to get that ball from Cody Wilstead. Just he ran a little bit of a wider trajectory than Wilstead was expecting, and lucky to get that play and avoid a fumble on that handoff there to Darman Atoa. Wilstead motions a receiver or tight end right to left. Twins to his right. He fakes the handoff to Notoa, tries to find Blake Kilgore. Checked into the game. He was the motion man coming from right to left, and just pass falls incomplete. Wilstead just had to kind of run, hurry to get rid of this one as he was pressured and led Blake Kilgore too far, not able to complete this pass. 10:43 to go. Clock stopped. Dixie State, after the interception by Aaron Simpson, 3rd down and 11 from the Grizzlies' 41-yard line. The snap to Wilson. He drops back, hits his back foot, throws to Xavier Smith, a diving catch, and he makes it complete across the 30 to the 30, the 26-yard line. And Xavier Smith with a diving catch, a nice play. Ball was thrown behind him. He was streaking towards the middle of the field on a post, but ball was thrown towards his back shoulder, but he makes a great diving catch coming back towards the far sideline and picks up the first down for the Trailblazers as they convert on 3rd and 11. Wilstead with Notoa on his right. He gives to Notoa. He up the middle, picks up a couple yards before being brought down across the 25-yard line. Going to mark him just short of the 24. Officially give him 1 yard on the carry. Notoa swallowed up by a host of Grizzlies defenders there right at the line of scrimmage. As Wilstead still back in the shotgun. 3 receivers to his left, Notoa at his hip. Low snap. Wilstead has to keep it, and he's going down. Going down at the hands of Alani Pututau, who is a beast on this Grizzlies defense. And kind of just a low snap, almost like a broken play maybe, and Pututau comes untouched off the right end and brings down Cody Wilstead. Pututau, leading tackler of this Adams State team coming into the game. In fact, leads the RMAC in sacks and tackles for loss. He added it to his total there and forces the Trailblazers into a passing situation on 3rd down and 13. Again, Wilstead snaps. It's a screen play. Set out to Darman Otoa on the right. Breaks one tackler, but then is met instantly back towards the original line of scrimmage. Knocked out of bounds by Corey Ciceno. And Trailblazers will send out James Baird for a field goal attempt. Just a 3-yard pickup on that play after the pitch and run from Darman Otoa. And James Baird will come out to attempt a 43-yard field goal. Longest of the season, 40 yards. Baird attempted a field goal in the same direction on the same hash, 44 yards earlier in the game. This one from 43. He missed the one earlier in the game. This one, high snap, it's fumbled. Tanner Hammond picks it up, rolling to his left, tries to find a receiver on the backside. He completes the pass and was hit from behind. His helmet came off, but nowhere near the first down. And this one will be a turnover on downs for Dixie State. Dixie State sideline asking for a penalty, a targeting penalty perhaps, as the helmet of the receiver popped off. Looks like that's Lenandre Schwally as he brought that one in. But no avail for Dixie State sidelines to try and get a penalty drawn on that play. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back in 60 seconds. This is the media. So we'll be back in 90 seconds. This is the media timeout. Back in 90 seconds, back on the Trailblazer Football Network.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique.
And your mother.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
Give your town a reason to celebrate, because every Goodwill item you bring home brings job training and more to your community. Goodwill, bring good home.
I got you right where I want you. If I make this one, it's over. I win.
No pressure. Bring it.
We may not always play good, but when we want to look good, we come to the Dixie State Campus Store.
Located on the 2nd floor of the Gardner Center. We'll see you there.
1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. That means it could be you, your dog walker,
On your left.
your cat jogger. With early diagnosis, pre-diabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org.
Welcome back inside Trailblazer Stadium as Adams State will take over on the Dixie State 32-yard line. And the give is to Payanu. And he's going to be wrapped up, try to extend this play out to the left, and is wrapped up and brought down across the 30-yard line to the 32-yard line, a pickup of 3 yards on first down. As you see, Payamanu wrapped up by a host of Dixie State defenders. Alex Lilliard leading the charge for the Trailblazers. 7:50 to go, clock running. Dixie State leads this one 35-10. Adams State getting the play call from the sidelines. Now they're set and ready to go. Morales is your quarterback. He'll give to Payamanu. He gets the left end and tries to get around the corner, but it's stopped short of the first down up to the 35-yard line. Pick up a 3 yards on that one. It'll be 3rd down and 3 now, maybe a short 2 or a long 2.5. On that play is Payamanu gets the handoff from Morales and immediately cuts out to the left edge and tries to get the corner, but it's brought down at the 35-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and a long 2. They give him the extra yard towards the 36-yard line. Morales in the shotgun now moves Payamanu from his left hip to his right hip. And resets here to the snap. Give to Payamanu up the middle. Wrapped up initially. Ball is on the ground, and it falls back to Morales in the backfield. And Morales recovers it, but it's going to be a loss of 3 yards for the Adams State Grizzlies, as they're fortunate to recover that one and not let the Trailblazers recover that fumble. It will be a 4th down and 5 yards to go, which will send out the punting unit for Adams State. Good play by the Trailblazers to limit that run. Not sure they would have had the first down on the first effort, but ball comes loose and force a punt for the Grizzlies. Xavier Smith back to receive this one, standing at his own 27-yard line. The punt is up. It's a good punt. Backs Smith up to his 20-yard line. He fields it there off the bounce and is brought down immediately at the 22-yard line, giving forward progress. And that is where the Trailblazers take over. When we come back, 60-second timeout, and we'll be back. After this play, you see here Xavier Smith grabs this one. It's forward progress to the 22-yard line. And that's where the Trailblazers will take over. We'll keep it right here as the offense is coming back out onto the field. We'll keep it right here. 6:18 to go. Dixie State leads this one 35-10. Cody Wilstead jogs the troops back out onto the field. Shotgun, running back right behind him. They'll give to the running back. That's Notoa, and he surges forward. Good gain on first down. Picks up 5 yards on the ground at the Dixie State 27-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 5 on that give to Notoa. Excuse me, that's Kennelly Robles. Surging forward for 5 yards. The Dixie State run game slowly but surely in this second half has been able to get some positive yardage and been able to move the ball effectively, as Cody Wilstead continuing to try to get the Grizzlies to hop off sides. Now looks to the sidelines, gets the play call, and we're set to go. Snap and give to Kennelly Robles up the middle. He's got a hole out to the 35-40. He's tackled from behind at the 45-yard line, but a good hole and a good run there by Andrew Kennelly Robles, who got out in space, made one guy miss, had some green grass ahead of him. You see the hole opens up there very well. He does a good job reading it and then cuts back to his right and makes the guy miss, and then is brought down from behind at the 45-yard line, enough for a first down. And the chains keep moving. First downs, as a reminder, brought to you by Lonnie Boy's Barbecue. And Andrew Kennelly Robles, a good job on that run to be able to surge forward and get the first down on his own at the 45-yard line. Wilstead now. Snap. Back to Kennelly Robles on the right side. Surging forward, still on his feet, out to the 50. Gets across the 50, just barely, not quite to the 49-yard line of Grizzlies territory. But Andrew Kennelly Robles looking sharp on this drive. 3 plays, 3 Andrew Kennelly Robles runs. Does a good job getting hit immediately and surging forward for extra yards. We have a timeout on the field. Injury timeout. We'll be back in 60 seconds on the Trailblazer Football Network.
We scored? Yeah, we scored. We're going to the playoffs. I can't believe I missed that. Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone. What? I should take your phone away. No. I'll call for a ride. Hey, why does my face look like that? I'm playing with these new face filters. Okay, you know what? Yep, that's mine. I'm gonna need that back. No. Kevin.
If you love them enough to suck the snot out of their nose at 4 a.m., then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Back inside Trailblazer Stadium, the snap to Cody Wilstead. He gives it to Kennelly Robles and is hit immediately in the backfield, and he surges forward. This one looked like it was dead to rights in the backfield. But Kennelly Robles surges forward, picks up another first down. He's done it all this drive, as you see. Unblocked Grizzlies defender comes off that right edge and hits Wilstead as soon as he gives the ball to Kennelly Robles, but doesn't hinder the play in any way, as Robles is able to get out to the left edge and pick enough yards necessary for the first down. Chains move, first down and 10, 43-yard line. Dixie State in Adams State territory. Once again, Drayson Ball joining you. If you're listening on the radio and just heard one voice, Carrick Segemiller had to check out early, had some women's basketball action to get to, and had to run over there to the Burns Arena and do stats for that game. And that's why you're only hearing one voice on the radio call for this last 3.5 minutes left in this game. Wilstead now looks back to the sidelines. 3.5 minutes to go. Clock ticking. Dixie State leads 35-10. Now set for action. The snap. High snap. Gives to Kennelly Robles, and he surges forward. That one looked like it was going to be taken down in the backfield as well, but a high snap was fielded by Cody Wilstead. He hands Andrew Kennelly Robles, who avoids 2 tacklers and gets positive yardage on the play. Pick up a 2. Second down and 8 at the 41-yard line. Dixie State in no hurry. Play clock at 20. Game clock just dipped under 3 minutes to go in this final game of the season. Trailblazers content to just run this one out and finish the season with their best season in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference Division II era. And Wilstead, another handoff to Kennelly Robles, gets back to the line of scrimmage and then being pushed backwards off the right end and brought down right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, as he tried to find the hole but collapsed quickly and was met right at the line of scrimmage by DJ Liggins, who brought him down for no gain. Once again, Trailblazers will win their 8th game of the season. I mentioned a second ago their most wins in the Division II era. Had a record-setting season last year with 7 wins and that thrilling victory on this field at the end of last season over Colorado School of Mines, the number 6 ranked team in the country at that time. And going to finish the year on a good note here with their 8th win of the season. We do have a timeout, a Dixie State timeout. We'll take 30 seconds, be back just in 30 seconds here. We'll be back on the Trailblazer Football Network.
Where do you find the titans of classical music in St. George? Classical music on Radio St. George, 100.3 FM. Where do you find the legends of jazz? Evenings on Radio St. George, 100.3 FM.
Welcome inside the broadcast booth on this Saturday afternoon. Trailblazers leading this one 35-10, 1:56 remaining in the fourth quarter. Trailblazers on their way to winning the final game of the season here on Senior Day in record-setting 8th win of the game as we honor a handful of seniors: Casey Allison, JT Anderson, Dwan Dancer, Dylan Douglas, Chris Grosso, Seiji Luongo, Alex Lilliard, Brendan Miller, Joshua Partita, Aaron Simpson, and Xavier Smith. Their final game here at Trailblazer Stadium. Wilstead gets the snap, drops back to pass. He's throwing it long. He's got a man there. It's Ricky Johnson. He goes up and cannot make the play. Kind of a high point pass there. Ricky Johnson goes vertical to try to catch this one. Coverage there by Dion Mays as the Trailblazers try to take a shot downfield. There is a flag, however, thrown in the backfield, the Dixie State backfield at about the 44-yard line. Dixie State, it's going to be roughing the passer against Adams State, and that'll be a costly penalty as it'll force them 15-yard penalty closer to their own end zone, as Wilstead was hit after releasing that ball. It was not able to be completed by Ricky Johnson. So the Trailblazers will march down the field. Penalty yardage gives them the 27-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 from there. As you see, Ricky Johnson just not able to bring that one in. Broken up by Dion Mays. 1:50 to go here inside Trailblazers Stadium. 35-10 Dixie State lead. Cody Wilstead is your quarterback. Andrew Kennelly Robles still in the game. He's done most of the work on this drive. Handful of runs They give it back to him off the left end, cuts into the middle, still on his feet, stiff arms the guy to the 20, to the 15, to the 10, inside the 10, and a great run by Andrew Canelli-Robles as he stiff-armed his way to a big gain and a first down, setting up the Trailblazers 1st and goal inside the 10-yard line. And you see there, does a good job of avoiding tacklers. There's the stiff arm, a great play there. See able to keep his feet, work his way inside the 10-yard line. And the Trailblazers, with 1:19 to go, we'll see if they, looks like they're just going to take a knee on this one. No need to score here and run the score up. You've already got the victory, and Cody Wilstead will come out in victory formation. He'll snap, take a knee at the 10-yard line. 1:02 remaining, still have to run one more play. But in all intents and purposes, that will do it. Trailblazers are going to earn their 8th victory and win this one 35-10. They will need to run one more play in order to officially solidify things. But Dixie State's final season in Division II football is going to end with a victory on their home field here in Trailblazers Stadium. Cody Wilstead one more time, dips under center, now 30 seconds to go. He'll just knee on this one, and that will do it, folks, ladies and gentlemen. Dixie State wins this one 35-10 over Adams State. Dixie State improves 8-3 overall and 7-3 in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference. Dixie State record-setting season all across the board. Not only amount of wins and amount of just all across the board. Dixie State sets records and finishes this one off with 8 victories, an 8-3 season for head coach Paul Pearson in his first season here at Dixie State. After last season, didn't know if it was possible to get back to this point in the year after the coaching staff and the tragedy that happened in the offseason. But the Trailblazers, great season, finished with 8 wins and a school record for wins in a season. We'll take a quick 60-second timeout. We'll bring you back. We'll finish things up with the Jimmy John's postgame show. We'll give you a player of the game, brought to you by SkyWest Airlines, and we'll also give you a play of the game. Let's take just a 60-second timeout. We'll do a quick quick postgame show right after the 60-second timeout on the Dixie State Football Network.
There is a place where the desert comes alive, where rain breaks forth from solid stone and gardens spring from blistered rock. There is a place with enough color to make a rainbow jealous, where boulders are bigger than buildings and cliffs are higher than clouds. There is a place that will straighten your step, tighten your grip, widen your eyes, and open your jaw. There is a place.
Honorary Forest Ranger Betty White here, lending a hand to my dear friend Smokey Bear. Because for 75 years, he's only said,
only you can prevent wildfires.
But there's a lot more to say. Like, if you park your car on tall, dry grass, the hot exhaust pipe can start a wildfire. So keep the animals safe, especially the cute shirtless one. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Welcome back inside the postgame show, brought to you by Jimmy John's. Trailblazers winning this one 35-10 over Adams State on Senior Day, the final game of the season for Dixie State. This Trailblazers football team that we have grown to love over this season, and what a season it was for Dixie State. 8-3 overall, 7-3 in Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference play. And what a record-setting season all across the board, not just in terms of wins, best record, but we saw multiple records fall, including Seiji Luongo, the all-time leading rusher in rush yards, rushing touchdowns. DeJuan Dancer, the all-time leader now in passing reception yards. Cody Wilstead threw for 5 touchdowns today. That ties a single-game record. Just records all over the place for this Dixie State football team in this last season in Division II football. As we welcome you into the Jimmy John's post-game show. We'll do a quick post-game show. Got to get out of here. We got some some high school football on this field and in this booth shortly. So we'll just do a quick Jimmy John's post-game show, give you a player of the game and a play of the game, give you some few of the final statistics here, and then we'll get you out of here as we finish up the 2019 regular season for football. I mentioned Dixie State wins this one 35-10. The Trailblazers go for 480 yards of total offense and 430 yards of passing through the air, just 50 yards rushing, but most of that was done on that final possession. Andrew Canelli-Robles finishes the day as your leading rusher, 9 carries for 58 yards. No touchdowns, a longer of 13, but he was really carrying the momentum. That last drive lasted about 8 or 9 minutes, and Trailblazers were able to finish off that last drive, running the ball all over the Grizzlies' secondary, and they finished with 50 yards of rushing after minus 15 yards in that first half of play for the Grizzlies. Just 215 yards of total offense, 125 yards through the ground, 90 yards through the air. This was one of the things we mentioned coming into the game with no John Buksa, their all-RMAC quarterback. Where were they going to get offense? And they turned to the run game, and they just were not able to get enough run yards to be able to set up their offense, and really had no pass game throughout the entire game. And that's evidence as to the 90 yards of passing through the air. The Trailblazers did a very good job of playing defensively against their run and not limiting them, not allowing them to open up the run game and really hurt them on the ground. The Trailblazers win the possession battle just over 30 minutes. And, one of the big things that came down to this one was, the turnovers. Dixie State forced a handful of turnovers. They had the 2 interceptions, both of them grabbed by Aaron Simpson, who had the 2 interceptions, had the one late in the game to set up that final drive. And then they had 2 separate muffed punts that set the Trailblazers up in business, and that was really one of the things we talked about in the pregame show. Just that the Trailblazers needed to be able to capitalize on turnovers. They hadn't done so good at that in previous games, and in this situation, the Trailblazers got 4 turnovers today, 2 muffed punts and 2 interceptions, and were able to carry that one into a 35-10 victory. The Trailblazers did very, very well. Were very disciplined. Only had 5 penalties for 40 yards today, much like they had last week against Colorado School of Mines, just the 2 penalties for 25 yards. Last week, they really cleaned up their defense and their offense, and just those unnecessary, unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. They really did a good job of cleaning up those types of penalties late in the season, as Trailblazers earned the victory here. Cody Woolstead came in relief of Tanner Hammond. Tanner Hammond played pretty well in that first quarter, but just really didn't have much of a spark offensively. Tanner Hammond goes 11 of 17 for 75 yards. Is relieved later on by Cody Woolstead, who was 18 of 29 for 341 yards and 5 touchdowns. We mentioned earlier the 5 touchdowns, a single game record for Cody Woolstead in his final game of this season on senior day. Your leading receiver was DeJuan Dantzler, 6 receptions for 108 yards and a touchdown. He had that long one of 74 yards for the touchdown. But then Chase Hess was absolutely remarkable today. Him and Jalen Powell, both 6 receptions. Chase Hess has 83 yards through the air and 81 yards for Jalen Powell. Of course, Chase Hess has the 3 touchdowns, tying a single-game record for touchdown receptions as well as Jalen Powell. 6 receptions, 81 yards, and a touchdown. Trailblazers played very well throughout the day, and we talked about it on the pregame show that this was one of those games that on paper, especially against an Adams State team that was banged up, that was just not able to come in with Buksa, their all-RMAC quarterback, their all-RMAC receiver, Tariq Bitson. It just did not have the offense that they wanted to have today, and you knew coming into this game it would be one of those games where if the Trailblazers executed and played well offensively and defensively, the Grizzlies would have no answer for them, and they did just that. The Trailblazers played very well throughout this entire game, capitalizing on every single Grizzlies mistake, and that's why they earned the 35-10 victory on senior day. Let's wrap things up. We'll give you a player of the game. I think it's going to be fun for me to be able to give you a player of the game on previous broadcasts. Carrick and I obviously had our own sometimes had a differences of opinions on who to give the player of the game to, but I get to give you mine just by myself, and my word is the final word. I think you got to give it to Chase Hess today. I mean, he was absolutely phenomenal throughout the entire game. I mentioned earlier, 6 receptions, 83 yards, had the 3 touchdowns. I mean, he was just the go-to guy whenever the Trailblazers got inside near the red zone or near the end zone. He was just their go-to guy. Had a couple of plays there inside the red zone that went to him, and then of course he had the one-handed catch for his first touchdown of the game on the first throw by Cody Wilstead as he came in on relief of Tanner Hammond. And I guess you could throw an honorable mention to Cody Wilstead, who played very well, throw for over 340 yards and 5 touchdowns, and he came in and did a very good job. He was kind of battling the injury early on in the game, and was oftentimes shaking that right hand and didn't know how well he was actually feeling, but certainly couldn't tell by his play and the amount that he was able to battle through and work through injury. And he goes for 341 yards and 5 touchdowns. And so we'll give the SkyWest Airlines player of the game, we're going to give it to Chase Hess. 6 receptions, 83 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And then let's do a play of the game. I think it's got to be the one-handed catch to Chase Hess as well. I mean, he's gonna sweep the board today as in terms of post-game honors, as he gets the play of the game with that one-handed catch early in the first quarter, or earlier in the first half, as he brings in that one-handed catch and was off to the races from there. And Dixie State wins this one 35-10 on Senior Day. Well, that'll do it from inside Trailblazer Stadium. Again, shortened post-game show. Got to get out of the booth, got to get out of the stadium for high school football. But, man, what a great season. We saw a lot of things happen in this Dixie State football team, and under head coach Paul Pearson, I think the Trailblazers are on the right trajectory. As they say goodbye to Division II football, they say goodbye to the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference, and they spring forward into Division I next season, leaving Division II with the best season they've ever had at the Division II era with 8 wins. I want to take a quick minute to say thank you to everyone involved in the broadcast over the year. Every one of our CEC TV crew members, our video operators, our game operators, everyone back in the truck working hard to keep us on the air and get us on the air each and every week here inside Trailblazer Stadium, our camera operators, and everyone associated back in the Radio Dixie 91.3 FM studio to get us on the air and keep us on the air all throughout the season. Big thanks to everyone and everything they do for this Dixie State football team. I've said it once, and I'll say it again. I'll put this broadcast crew, the CEC TV crew, and the Radio 91.3 crew, I'll put this broadcast of this football team up against any other broadcast in the entire conference, and I believe that this one is the best. Great season. Thank you so much for joining us in your extended loyalty throughout the entire season. It's been a fun one. Trailblazers win this one 35-10. We'll see you next year as the Trailblazers move into Division I. Thanks so much for everything. We'll see you.